recording session of the night. We did a back-to-back one here.
Yes, sir.
So once again, I am John Ostos, a.k.a. Ill Ego CEO, and I'm here with my counterpart, Deion Primetime Larry.
Ooh, primetime.
That's I don't know. We're going to try it a couple times and see how it goes.
We'll see.
Prime
Do you
time.
like that?
I mean, it's good. I don't know how I feel about like taking it from Deion Sanders, but I don't know.
He's retired. It works that way. It's like you could have his number now, you know?
But he's like an infamous coach and stuff now. So it's like,
Is he?
I mean, he's not really
There's so
yet.
many.
But
There's so many that are good though.
Hey, Cody's here.
Yeah.
This is another guest we have on tonight. This is a longtime sponsored athlete of Ill Ego Culture Brands, and either everybody hates him or everybody likes him a lot. So this is Cody Mauch, NPC bodybuilder, probably one of the most avid bodybuilders I think in our region, in our area. Sure. He's highly respected by a lot and highly hated by a lot. So we're gonna have a good conversation with Cody. Cody showed up thirsty, so we gave him some stuff to drink, and
Yeah.
I think he's getting hydrated.
High Noon right here.
we don't get sponsored by them, so
Well,
we can't
maybe
be doing
we will
that
after this.
Maybe one
Yeah,
day.
we're gonna have to shout out to Beep Noon. That's what it's gonna sound like when we edit this one, man. Cody, welcome home for now, man.
Well, thank
I know
you.
you're just visiting. You've been this is your second time being away from us for a good year on duty with the military. Thank you for your service as always,
Appreciate
especially at the current times that we're in this country, man.
Right.
You're even more appreciated, at least by us here. So
For sure.
but always love having you back, man. Your energy is infectious in the gym. Everyone talks about you coming home and how much you're missed in our atmosphere, man. So it's cool to have you back, even though I haven't got to see you in the gym yet since you've been back. Welcome home.
Thank you. It's really nice to be home. I really do miss North Dakota a lot.
Yeah,
Everybody
you miss freedom, huh?
Everybody that lives here is like, oh, I can't wait to get out, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go home.
Yeah,
I'm like, after living in DC for the past 6 months, and this is my third time doing this mission out in DC. I miss North Dakota more and more every time I go there, especially now with all of the COVID, the beep madness that's going out there. So
they're really strict out there in Washington.
Yeah, they're really strict, and it's not fun. It's just we still have like good people that live out there. It's just way too much for me, and I just miss home. I miss the freedom. I came back here and I saw nobody was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Everybody's smiling. Everybody's friendly. It's just I love it. I love living here. I miss it so much.
I'm the same, man. As a California native, born and raised, I love Fargo, North Dakota, man.
For sure.
I tell people that all the time. They're always like, "What are you fucking live here? You're from Cali." I'm like, Psh, go try to live in Cali right now, or any time at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't come from the fun California. People they mistake it when you're a tourist. They're like, California's so fucking beautiful. I'm like, yeah, if you're just visiting and staying at a fucking hotel by the beach.
Yeah.
And even then, don't go out at night.
Yeah.
Growing up, I always wanted to live in California. I got an uncle.
Well, you used to be a skater.
Yeah. Skater guy, 72.
Skater guy, 72, baby.
I have an uncle that lives in California. We go visit him. And
Deion's wondering what the fuck that's all
I
about.
assume that's one of your
Email.
I used to skateboard and rollerblade when I was younger, and I had spiked hair. I wore black label clothes. I had spiked bracelets.
All right, we'll be posting a picture of that next week.
Yeah,
That'll be the cover photo for this
For
video.
real.
I never painted my
For
fingernails, but I listened to Sublime
wanted
a lot.
to.
Sublime was the shit, though.
I just did all that stuff, and
That's
don't know.
crazy. A lot of people are going to be shocked to hear that because I didn't
No,
know
it
that.
won't. Like you probably weren't around for it, but Cody was a trainer at Metroflex for a short period of time.
I was not.
And when he was training, he made ads and everything for himself and cards, and he put his email address on them. And it was said Skater Guys 72 or some shit.
So in seventh grade,
Gmail.
I made email because that's when MSN was like popular.
Yeah.
And I was a skater boy back then. So Skater Guy 72 was available. And I picked that. And I remember I wasn't like in with the skater crowd. And so when I had made that email address, they got mad at me for calling myself a skater guy.
What the skater gang did?
The skater gang was mad at me because I didn't hang out with them. I was hanging out with the popular kids still, dressing and doing what I was doing. But the skater crew didn't like who I was because I I made myself a Skater Guy 72 email, and they didn't like that.
That's funny. Were you in sports in high school?
Yeah.
You played sports, so you ran with the jocks and shit, or what?
So I was with that kind of the nerdy crew until about the sophomore in high school. We had a construction tech class, and that's where I kind of like became the goofball, and I would fuck with the teacher all the time. The teacher was this poor old man. He just got everything, man. Like, I just fucked around all the time to try to make the popular kids laugh.
Yeah.
And they just took into it. So they accepted me into their clique. And so I left the nerdy crew and went with the popular kids and started hanging out with them. And they introduced me to like partying and all that stuff when I was a sophomore.
All the
and
fun stuff.
And then they accepted me because I was just like this little dickhead. But then I got like a 75% in that class, so I almost failed construction tech because I wasn't doing anything. I was just jerking off over there, trying to impress all the popular kids.
That's funny.
And I'll get in trouble because the superintendent of Wapson was my next door neighbor when I was growing up.
So
his daughter and I were best friends. So he would come to the high school just to see me and basically chew my ass because I was failing construction tech or all close to failing any class. He would come and chew my ass and like, you need to get your goddamn grades up, boy. He's like, I want to see you graduate. And I'm like, I will, I promise. Well, I graduated, but
just barely. Just barely.
That's pretty good stuff, though. I would love to see you do an ollie on a skateboard right now.
When was the last time you were on a skateboard?
Oh man, it's been years, dude.
Were you good?
I was, dude. I tell you what, I
Grind, kick flips, all that shit.
I would go out front of my house and I would be on that thing for hours.
Just like standing on it.
No, I was practicing doing like ollies and stuff, but I never actually attempted to. I was more better at rollerblading. What is it called? Inline, I guess.
Yeah,
inline rollerblading.
Yep.
So I could grind and stuff when I with my rollerblades, but skateboard I never tried to grind.
Impressive.
But I was doing like ollies and stuff on my skateboard.
I fucked around on rollerblades back in the day a little bit.
I could imagine John just freaking doing spins on
bro,
one
we
foot
lived on this big ass hill in North County, San Diego, right? It was called Beaubier, and it was like a steep ass hill. It was so steep you couldn't really ride up it. You'd have to like do the sideways shuffle to go up a hill. You know how you do?
Yeah.
Or we would just like hide out behind a bush and we would catch cars coming out of the adult school and we'd hold on to their bumpers and ride up the fucking hill.
Like
bro.
straight
But
on
we would,
90s.
but we would be low so they couldn't see us in the mirrors and shit. We'd be holding their
that's
bumper to
crazy.
get up the hill, bro, and then we just mash back down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that shit, bro. It was
Dude,
crazy.
back then, like skateboarding and rollerblading was so popular. Everybody did it.
Yeah.
Like you had a magazine that was, what is it? The CCS magazine. Everybody was just like looking at skateboards and rollerblades.
Yeah. Even like bangers and everyone, they were riding skateboards and shit
Yeah.
back then. Yeah. It was crazy.
Very, very popular. It was fun.
I would have never told anybody I was a skater though.
I was gonna say,
I just
yeah.
fucked around on a skateboard.
It sounds like you didn't really know how to use a skateboard, really.
Not really.
Like those are the basics.
That's why they got mad at you, bro.
Yeah, I would have
That's
been
what I'm
pissed.
saying. Like I
They're
wasn't
like, who
beat you
the
up
fuck
for
does this
sure.
guy think? That's my email.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I identified.
Just one number off.
as a skater.
Well, we'll leave it alone then. You're
Never
in a safe
mind.
space now.
identified
We
as
take
a
it back.
skater.
You're in a safe
We
space
take
with
it
that
back.
one.
Sorry.
I identified as a skater, so I said Skater Guy 72 is my email address.
So
they came after me for that.
this is a big question. I'm sure everybody at home is gonna wonder: is like, how big were you then? Especially because
I was tiny.
Wait,
Skinny.
did you train at this point in your life? Yeah.
No, I haven't touched a dumbbell yet. And I was small and I was skinny. I was getting picked on all the time.
how much would you say you weighed?
This is before I got in with the popular kids. I got in with the popular kids at sophomore in high school, and this is back in like
Oh, you're little.
seventh or eighth grade.
Okay.
I'm just tiny. I haven't.
What year is it in 7th grade for you?
Let's see. I graduated 2007, so I guess it would be 2005 or 2004, roughly, something like that. But yeah, I haven't touched a dumbbell. I was small. I was actually tiny until my junior year of high school. Junior year of high school is when David Woods showed up to Wapson.
Now, okay, before we get into what you're about to say about David Woods, it just dawned on me he's bragging about hanging out with the popular kids, and then a teacher was his best friend.
Yeah.
I don't know if those go together, bro.
Well,
Nah, but Woods is cool shit. I'm not downing Woods, but a teacher and a student hanging out isn't exactly the popular crowd type guy.
at the same point, Woods, when he came to Wapton, he was younger. He was really young. He was probably in his 25 maybe, I think he was.
Sure. So he's not from there originally. Like he didn't grow up in Wapato.
He grew up in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage, Alaska was, gangbanging. He actually got shot in the leg when he was younger. When he was younger, he got shot in the leg.
They're banging in Alaska?
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Well, I mean, they're banging here now,
Yeah.
I guess,
Especially back then. I don't know how it is now. I heard that it's not so good now, but back then he told me it was really bad. But he came to Wapton High School when I was a junior, and I had his wife as a speech teacher, and I was going into the gym there in the high school, just bench press and curls every day.
That's the way to start, though.
That's all I would do.
That's how everyone starts, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bench press and curl every day. And then I would get like really bad tendonitis in my elbow
Because your triceps were
and
small.
I had to go I had to go into the chiropractor, and they're like, yeah, you got tendonitis. And I was like, I didn't know what tendonitis was. I was like, whatever.
You're like, I don't even play tennis.
Bench press curls. And then so then he was the weight room moderator, or the weight room person that watches when the kids are working out.
Yeah.
And I just started talking to him, and he would just, we just eventually just started talking to each other. And then I convinced him to train me to get me to be big enough to join the football team for my senior year. So that whole summer we worked out every day. I was packing on muscle like every single day. I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But when I became a senior, it was football time. I still wasn't big enough to play football, but I did play. I wasn't.
How much did you weigh?
I think it was 190.
190.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad for
It
high
isn't
school,
bad.
man.
No.
No. I was
Because you're
decent
short.
size.
What's your height?
Yeah, 5'9".
Yeah, that's good weight for you, I think.
I was pretty decent size. I haven't been playing since I was a
Yeah,
freshman.
you wouldn't be able to just jump
So
in.
I wasn't
and be
like,
a fucking-
oh yeah, I'm gonna be the stud that jumped in. I played a little bit. It's just I wasn't good enough to play. But
Yeah.
But him and I, so he started training me, and we started working out together. We went over to what then was Heavy Metal in Breckenridge, and we were working out every single day pretty much. And if he didn't show up, I'd call him a little bitch, and I'd make sure that he showed up, and he make sure that I showed up.
That's
and
good.
Finally, there was this poster on the wall in the gym. It said bodybuilding competition. And this was in 2007. And I bet him, I said, I bet you a steak dinner that I can beat you in this competition.
That's where that shit comes from. And he still owes you a steak from all that.
Still owes me. You still owe me, you fuck.
I hope he
That's
watches
the
this.
longest running fucking debt on a
for
steak
real.
that I've ever heard of.
I
I think Woods needs to own that one, man.
real.
I just texted him a couple weeks ago. I said,
You should upgrade that to a tomahawk.
yeah.
Yeah.
I said, you know
Interest.
what? I said, if we go to war with Russia, you fucking owe me my steak dinner.
Before.
I want to fucking get a steak dinner before I go to war. And he's like, bet. He said something like that.
Finally.
Yeah.
On your deathbed, I'll finally give it to you.
So there was a poster in the gym, and we both saw it, and I bet him that I could beat him. And that's where the
You
bodybuilding
competed
thing started.
against each other?
No.
Oh, I was like-
I was gonna be. I said I was gonna place higher than him.
Okay, yeah.
So he was a lot older than I was, but so I wasn't gonna do open. He was gonna do open. I was gonna do teens, but
So I mean, he took the downside. Like, what was in it for him? Other than you.
well, I was a lot smaller, and he was huge.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
He was
I don't know
jacked.
who
I've seen
this is.
pictures.
this guy
Yeah.
was jacked. Like
Yeah.
when he showed up to the high school, he was yoked. This guy he didn't touch a steroid in his life. He
Yeah.
was just naturally yoked. And he did open, he did middleweight. Light heavy. He did light heavy.
Okay.
He placed third, I placed second in my first competition. So technically I won.
Did you do bodybuilding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all there really was back then.
was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah. That's all there was. And then the next year, I think I got first in teens and fifth in men's middleweight. There was 10 guys in my weight class. I was 18 years old, and I got fifth place.
That's awesome.
That's legit.
And I think he got second, I want to say. I'm not sure what he got that second year, but I was really impressed. Looking back at it now, getting fifth place in men's middleweight at 18 years old with all these other guys.
It's a big deal.
10 guys in your weight class.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is, especially like when you think about that, like being 18. Like,
and, honestly, like my diet plan was extremely basic. It was meal 1 through 6. I had a sheet of paper, and that's all I did. And I'd probably cut for maybe 2 months. But if you go look back at my pictures, I look like pretty decent. You know what I mean? But
that's crazy.
I lived and breathed in the gym.
Yeah, you can
Still
definitely
do.
see it. Yeah,
And it was kind of tough doing that in high school. It was really tough.
Lots of distractions.
Cutting in high school. Yeah, like you can't get, obviously you can't get your meals in when you can.
Yeah.
So
There's that, yo.
How do you feel about them making it a rule that you have to be over 18 or 18 or older to compete now? Then?
I didn't hear that. Is that
Yeah,
real?
I didn't hear
Is
that
real?
either.
Oh yeah. So you have to be 18 or over in order to compete in bodybuilding in the NPC.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Are you
pretty
serious?
Yeah, no joke. For
Is that because
effective already?
is that because
It's
kids
because they're
nowadays
mandating the vaccine to compete.
You think so?
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe because there's younger and younger generations are getting
getting
introduced to anabolics.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, that's a really bad one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was a big thing. I
Well,
mean, it's still a big thing.
And with SARMs, dude, it's getting so
Teenagers are
out of
fucking
hand.
taking them like crazy, bro. It's just nuts.
It's
Yeah.
outrageous, but
It is.
I mean, you can't blame them. The way they put the light on them of like being steroids, but without side effects, is what they first were known as. It's like, well, no, that's not the case.
That's why them 2 boys are about to go to prison, though.
yeah.
So, I mean, but yeah, that rule is crazy. I could only imagine somebody who's so passionate and wants to do this sport.
It might be a good thing though, because I mean, I don't know how healthy it is competing when you're that young.
How healthy is it to be a football player getting beat up every single day, though? You know, doing 2-a-days.
Yeah, I mean, a horse apiece, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, how healthy is it
You
to be
eat,
doing
you
that?
eat better
Yeah.
doing that. You know what I mean? And it's more in line with
There's
your
definitely-
activity. Bodybuilding is just such a change up to your physiology as you're a growing man.
Well, and hormones, yeah,
like,
that
yeah.
ramps you up.
Come on, man. That's crazy.
But
Yeah.
For sure.
I get it. I there's a drive that people have, and like shutting that drive down completely and not being able to compete until you're 18. When you're 16, you kind of know what you're interested in at least. So
Well, it's like who's that kid that's really popular right now in this industry? He's shredded as shit. He was like 15, 16 when he came on.
Tristan Lee.
Is it Tristan Lee? Yeah. Like the guy is
Anthony
insane.
Manatello. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
I don't think so.
But he's 19 now, I think, or something like that, 20 maybe. But he was like one of the youngest people to. I don't even know what he did, but he looks very good. Sorry, and he was going for his pro card this last year, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna get it." He's like YouTube famous, Instagram famous for sure, and he didn't get his pro card, but the way he looks on his Instagram, everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna get it," and I'm like, "Dude, he's still small. Like he still needs to put on size, but he's 19.
He's a bodybuilder?
Yeah, no, physique and." He tried
nobody gives a
classic
fuck about
physique.
physique.
Yeah, so I mean that's the issue.
I'm just kidding.
But
I'm kidding.
He's young. He's 19.
See, this is why everyone doesn't like you, Cody.
Yeah, fuck you. But it's real, true story.
but yeah,
so
I mean,
Nobody watches it.
They
like
really
that for
don't.
physique.
I appreciate all the divisions. I think some of them are completely oversaturated. There's not enough limitations to stop certain people from stepping on that shouldn't step on now. And bodybuilding's at an all-time low, bro.
Oh,
you
big
go to
time.
any competition these days, you're lucky if you see 5 bodybuilders show up.
Dude.
The rest of them, there's 90 physique guys and
Yeah.
like 20-some classic physique guys because that's more
There
popular.
was 11 people in my weight class in 2015, I think it was. 11 people in my
at a
weight
local
class.
show or a national show?
Here. I was a light heavyweight.
That's
and there was-
crazy.
there
Now there
11
was
people.
There was maybe 3 at the
remember
upper
that,
last
man.
year.
Yeah. There was like 3.
By the way, I
and
got-
they were
wasn't
all
one.
crossover, right? Like, yeah.
The one wasn't. The one that won was not.
Oh, yeah,
a
he was the only
crossover,
one
yeah.
that did bodybuilding solo.
But he wasn't a bodybuilder.
Right.
No.
Yeah, the last one I did here, I was the only one in my weight class.
Yeah, I remember.
So
that.
you got
That was-
first.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was tough. That was a tough year because COVID really fucked a lot of shit up.
Yeah. It's still there's still a trickle effect to how well the shows are doing right now as a result. I mean, there's
everybody-
restrictions everywhere.
In 2020, we were supposed to have the show in March, right?
Yep.
Everybody was dieting since like November, December, and then they had to cancel.
Yep, 6 weeks out. That was the show I was prepping for with DeAndre.
Oh,
Yep, that sucked.
I felt bad. I felt bad, but at the same time, I'm like, thank God it wasn't me.
Yeah, that's how I felt
And then
too.
I was like, thank God it wasn't me. This is gonna be over with by the time I compete. And then, holy shit! And then we had to shut down for 6 weeks, and I had to find another gym to work out at. Meanwhile, I'm in the off season and trying to get huge, but I had to find a different gym to go to. Luckily, I did find a gym. It was.
Oh, you were in DC at the time.
No, here.
Oh, you were here.
This is during the shutdown.
This during the
gotcha,
2020
gotcha.
shutdown.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the gym was called.
Core
Fitness.
Yep.
Yeah. It was definitely.
Hey man, those were the only motherfuckers that did what the fuck they wanted here in town. That was
shout
great.
out to them.
I give them props, bro. Like even I was, as soon as I realized that, I remember we were like, you know what? Fuck this, we're gonna do it too. Like I didn't want to be close to begin with, but we're part of a bigger chain in our merchant.
Yeah.
So when we called them, we're like, we're opening. They're like, yeah, no, you're not. I'm like, what? And I think like the who was it? The Surgeon General or somebody at the time had contacted our merchant company because they're like one of the leading gym merchants.
Yeah.
They told them shut them all down and don't let nobody open back up unless they can show you that their governor has lifted the mandate in their community.
Yeah.
And so when we called them, they were like, yeah, we can't do nothing about it, even if you wanted to open. I was like, holy crap, that was crazy. So yeah, shout out to Core Fitness because
dude, that guy was like, he didn't give a fuck, man.
Good,
because he was a chiropractor. I think he was a chiropractor. I think the guy that owns that place.
Is it still the same dude that doesn't he own Tropical Cafes too in town?
I couldn't tell you.
I know he did for a while.
Physical therapist or chiropractor. But somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, you should come over here. This place is still open." So I went over there, and yeah, he was really receiving to take us in and let us train there. And I had Sam Roberts come in a little bit after that, so we trained together. Thank God we had somewhere to go.
Yeah,
it was no Metroflex, but it was something.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for that because I would have been fucked in the off season if I didn't have that.
Well, talk about being in the off season, like you're eating all this food. And you can't just not eat the food because you're starving,
right?
Like you're hungry for that amount of food, and even when you're not training, you're still going to eat that amount of food. You're starving. Yeah, it's just what it is. So,
and my 2020 off season, I really fucked it up. I should have hired Tim right away and had him do my off season, but I did it myself.
Yeah.
And I just did everything. Looking back at it now, I did everything ass backwards. I was just eating way too much food. I would eat Chipotle every day, pretty much, and I was big, but I was fat big. You don't want to be fat big.
How much did you? What was your highest?
301, 301 at 5'9". Just way too much.
That boy was thick.
So heavy.
You remember me showing up to Metroflex? Just I was big, but I had a big old face and everything.
Coming in with
a
huge meal,
wearing your hoodies from high school still.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
squeezing into them bitches.
Yeah. But I remember, you guys, you shut down for 6 weeks and then you opened back up. Of course, we went back there, and a couple months later, and we finally got to compete in October. It was when the Upper Midwest was. Yep. But I think everybody was still skittish at that time. Or they were planning to compete earlier in the spring, and they decided like, oh, fuck that, I'm not going to do that again. And there was just basically no one there. It sucked. Like, I feel bad for Tom and Kathy that tried to put
and it's
that
been
on.
hurting them since, man.
Yep.
Show after show. For
sure.
They didn't do the upper. They're not doing it this spring again for the sake of bringing, waiting a little longer to see if they can prolong like all the bullshit that's going on. So the upper is not going to be till the fall again, October 29th. I saw the date announced today.
That's probably a smart move.
I think it is because Minnesota's a little bit more active. There's a bigger demographic.
There's more people there.
Yeah, so they're getting better attendance. But here in little old Fargo, man, it's not the same.
And they're great. They're great promoters too. I love those guys. But yeah, I showed up in 2020, and there was a big back and forth with the venue, whether or not you can have spectators, whether or not we were even gonna fucking have the show. How many spectators could be there? How many competitors could be there? It was just a fucking shit show. And I remember like Tom was freaking out because he just didn't know what was going on with the venue.
Yeah, especially with everybody asking questions and like wondering what's going to happen.
I would have been in the same situation, man. You're just getting hounded by people asking you questions and all this shit. And finally the venue came out and said you can have one person there, but it's going to be social distance. There's not going to be you can't have people there the whole show. There's going to be scheduled times when you can be there. So luckily Kate was able to watch me when I was competing, but there was like 15 people in the crowd at the time. And
that has to kill the energy.
so
be
yeah,
so
it's
brutal.
just and yeah. And so that wasn't, you do what you can.
Yeah.
You do what you can. But
Everyone says they do it for themselves, but some part.
I had a lot of people, but thank God for the
Live
streaming
stream,
service.
for
Yeah,
sure.
because I had a lot of people that were watching. I mean, you guys were watching. My family was watching, and I had people in Grand Forks that drill at the time. They were watching. So yeah, it was
That helped. I bet.
Yeah.
Offset a lot.
to be able
for
to
sure.
other people to be able to see that aren't in the area is nice for sure. But there's something to being able to showcase what you've worked so hard on, like to the people that
to a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To your people, especially because it's in our area, in our local space. You want to show all the gym goers that like you and want to see what you do. So
Yeah. So you've been bodybuilding for how long now?
my first show was in 2007, and I have done a show pretty much. I think I've done 8 shows or so. I haven't done one every single year, but because I had to take time off with deploying and with stuff with the guard makes it really tough. Being in the guard, I got to give a shout out to Cedric McMillan. Being in the guard and competing is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pro and he's a high level pro and he's still in the military. He does really, really well. And I got to give a shout out to that guy because being in the military and competing is tough. Especially being in the MOS that I am with, being in the air defense. We're constantly doing shit. We're always leaving. We're always training, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was tough competing and doing that at the same time.
Yeah. He does a really good job at it, but you could tell that there's still
a
struggle for him because
absolutely
as quality as he's a hell of a poser. Mm-hmm. He has a quality ass physique. But
never get to the point. Yep,
hitting that mark.
Yeah, people are saying.
I wish he could, man. If he got there, he'd be so.
What
great.
an advocate he would be as a Mr. Olympia too.
Yeah.
That guy's just such a solid mentality and just like personality, everything all around.
It's just fun to watch him on social media. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but
yeah. I seen him doing like TikToks and shit now too. Like, yeah, it's funny.
He tries, man.
Yeah,
he
it's funny.
tries.
Yeah, he's such a nice
fucking
guy,
funny.
though.
Oh yeah,
good guy.
So you have you ever had in your bodybuilding career now, since you've been doing this since you were 17, have you ever had a period where you weren't bodybuilding since then? Other than maybe recently, I know you've kind of taken a little bit of a break because you're working on family life and shit. But
after I got back from DC in 2018, I competed at the USA's, and then 2019, I was going to take an extended break because I wanted to do an off season, but at the same time, I had to go to the National Training Center in California with the guard during the summertime in June. So anybody that knows NTC, it's hell on earth. Absolutely hell on earth. It's 3 weeks of hell. You're in the desert and you're out in the desert for 3 weeks straight, pretty much. There's no shower. There's no shitters. There's just MREs and the troops that you're with and the ground that you sleep on.
I remember talking to you when you came back from that. That was,
Yeah. So you make do with what you got, but
did a lot of push-ups.
Yeah, I would take water cans and do like side raises, water cans and curls with water cans and stuff like that. But there's no, obviously you can't work out in there. You really don't have a whole lot of energy just being zapped by the sun every day too. But 2019 was the year that I took off, and then 2020 is when I came back into it.
So it took you a good 11, 12 years to take a break.
Mm-hmm. And then 2009 as well too. I was deployed to Kosovo for a year, and took that year off too. So I competed 2007, 2008, took 2009, 2010 off. Okay. And I think I came back in 11 or 12, something like that. Okay.
So this is for I mean, obviously we know most of the answers to these questions, but for the sake of what we're doing, you're a career bodybuilder. You want your pro card. You want to become an IFBB pro.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that goal is still on the table. You're still working towards that.
I was hell bent on getting my pro card basically up until the end of this last competition that I competed in. I had promised my wife before in 2020, I said, let me do this last competition and then we'll pursue having a kid, because that was priority. So I really wanted to compete one more time, and then I wanted to try to have children. So I want to have at least 2 kids before I come back to competing. If I have 2 kids, it's game on. I'm back into it. But I have to have 2 kids before I come back.
Sure.
Especially a boy. The Mauch name has got to carry on.
You really shouldn't have said that on here. That's bad juju. That's real bad juju.
I don't know.
You might have to push out 4 kids.
So what Deion was wondering is, if you're unsuccessful in making a baby, you think Kate will leave you?
Um,
Well, he's giving
This
a
is
serious
this is a
hesitation.
deep
Yeah.
one that
I'm gonna play some background music on this part. Let's
This
go.
was like 5 weeks ago. I came up with this question because I knew we were gonna do this.
I don't think so.
That doesn't sound very sure, guys.
He's like, maybe not.
Well, so
because of your personality, or
Kate really wants a baby.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She will do whatever it takes.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay,
I gotta pee.
do you think, man? We'll pause. That's funny. He's gonna go gather himself.
Yeah, he's gonna text her and ask her.
He's like, baby,
You guys took me off guard.
baby, this shit's going horrible.
Oh God.
You're gonna fucking kill me for that one.
Ah, fuck
God.
Explain why I asked her to let me compete one more time, because you can't have a baby when you're taking shit.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to get to next, as far as so people understand what you mean by you have to take a break from it. Because now go ahead and you can open up about it, man. I'm totally game with that. Mm-hmm. So you do heroin
Every day. All day, every day.
So obviously you're a geared bodybuilder, man. Your endeavors to get into the pro circuits, it's kind of necessity in that arena. So you have to come off of that shit so you can make a baby, and that's the phase you're in right now.
2010, I'm at We Fest, right?
Yeah.
I see this huge motherfucker. I go up to him and be like, hey, you got the good stuff or what? And I was drunk at the time. And he's like, yeah, you want some? And I must have told him, like, yeah, because I got his number in my phone. He put his number in my phone. And then after We Fest, about a week later, he texted me. He's like, you still want stuff? And I was like, absolutely. So me and a couple of other buddies got together and we ordered some stuff. And we started taking it. That was in 2010 is when I first started. I had no idea what I was doing. Not a clue. And so ever since then, I was on and off for a long time. And so in 2020, or actually, let me back up. In 2016, when I first met my wife, she asked me what my bad habits were. I told her straight up right away. I was like, well, I'm a bodybuilder. I take anabolics. This is what I do. And she accepted that, right? But after we got married in 2018, we tried to have a kid. Wasn't happening at all. And then in 2020, she was like, all right, enough is enough. Like, we really got to try this. So if anybody doesn't know, when you're taking stuff, your natural testosterone's gone, and your ability to produce sperm is gone. You don't have any sperm, right? So I asked her, I said, let me compete one more time. Let me try this one more time. I want to compete in nationals one more time just to give it a shot. And she said, okay. So then after I competed in 2020, completely got off of it. And so in my mind, I thought for sure that you could take a little bit. I was thinking like, well, just a little bit can't hurt, right? And then we went to the doctor and she's like, you need to fucking stop. In other words, she didn't say fuck, But I'm saying
She
fuck.
wanted to.
She wanted to hit me. I could tell. I looked at her face and she was like, "You need to stop right now. Like that's not how it works." And
what was your logic behind just taking the little bit? Like you thought it would help your count?
I got my testosterone tested and it was like a 13. So we talked about this. It was enough to have like a 13-year-old girl or something like that. Yeah. But testosterone, after I got done competing, it nosedived, and then I tore my pec too.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So after I competed, I was planning on doing a powerlifting competition, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I should have hired Marshall, and I know he laughs about this to himself because he wanted me to hire him. I know he did, but I was benching. I had 475. This is like December, a week before New Year's Eve in December 2020, and I was coming up 475, and I heard a pop. The most terrifying fucking sound that you could hear is muscles tearing. Sounds like taking a rag and tearing it like this. That's what it sounds like. And luckily I had Nate behind me, and I had Walter, and I think Andrew was on the other side. I was like, take it. And they grabbed it and they threw it up. I was like, fuck. And they're like, you tore your pec, didn't you? They knew it right away.
Yeah.
And I had Laura got me an ice pack, and I walked back when Marshall showed up, and he's like, what the fuck did you do? I was like, I tore my pec. You dummy. He knew exactly.
He knew you were going to fuck yourself up.
Yeah. He knew because he knew. He's like, I was gonna say something to you because I saw you lifting as heavy as you were, lean as you were. Yeah. I had no fatty tissue around the muscle to protect the muscle.
I was there when it happened too, and it wasn't long after he competed. So
yeah, I was really, really lean, and I tore it. So then I could only do legs at that time, barely even do legs, because anytime I went like this, I could feel that fucker just, it was tight as fuck. So I was barely training, wasn't taking any tests, so my testosterone nosedived. And I went and got it tested, and it was like a 13. But I still had muscle. Like, I was still carrying muscle.
Kate probably could have got you pregnant at the time.
Yeah. She definitely could have. And I remember posting about it because, like, I just see all these guys, they post stuff on Instagram about how big they are and how much, how big they are and how well they're doing in bodybuilding. But yeah, they're taking all this shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking anything, and I was still carrying all that muscle that I had. Still carrying it, but my testosterone just nosedived after that. And so then we went to the doctor, and they prescribed Clomid. And so I've been off everything since November of 2020, and I was taking Clomid for a long time to get my stuff back to normal.
How bad did that fuck you up right out the gate when you were off of everything?
It sucked. Well, man, especially tearing my pec. Not being able to lift, because I'm strong as fuck, and I always had been strong as fuck naturally.
You were the first person to bench the 200 golds.
Yeah, those 200 gold dumbbells. Pressing those, what did I do? 10 or 11 reps or something like that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Banging out fucking, what was it, 405 for like 10 fucking reps.
Yeah. I squatted 520 for 6. But after I tore my pec and I couldn't train, that fucked me up, man. That sucked so bad, because I really wanted to try this powerlifting meet, because I think I could have done really well if I did it right. I should have hired a fucking coach. I should have hired Marshall. He would have fucking hold me in. He would have showed me how to properly lift, and I would have fucking crushed it, I think.
Yeah.
I ended up squatting like 550, and I fucking smoked 550. I probably could have got 600. And that was right at the time where my testosterone was at the lowest too. So I was actually pretty impressed with that. But yeah. No.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So it's been a hell of a journey for you in all this.
Yeah.
And so right now you're gear free, you're clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
Your test levels are back up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're potentially a baby making monster right now.
Yeah.
How soon will we find out if anything's progressive?
My balls are full, Deion.
Why Deion?
This guy looks like he's got tiny nuts.
Yeah, I mean they're average size, I guess.
Average. Is there an average size for a ball sack?
I don't know.
This conversation went left.
Yeah, I don't
real quick,
think I don't think it matters really.
No, but
Mine's average.
Deion's like, yeah, me, fool.
I'm pretty certain. I don't know for sure, but when I was a teenager, I'm pretty sure that those guys in my other weight class definitely were on something. And
I mean, it's
just
pretty-
competing. Well, especially at 18 years old, while I was competing in men's middleweight. All those fuckers were on shit.
Yeah.
And I was 18 years old and had no idea what a steroid was. And I was beating those guys. So, that's to think about that is pretty cool to think about, back then. But
I think it's a good testament to the fact, like what we say about all these young dudes taking shit. You don't fucking need it when you're that young, man. You don't need all this extra bullshit. You're fucking yourself up when you're that young.
So I'm not going to name names, but there was an individual that messaged me. This is a while ago. Messaged me like he had a coach and he was competing, and he messaged me saying like, I should be bigger than I am right now. I should be taking more stuff than I am right now. And he told me all the stuff that he's taken, and he was like a really young guy, and I'm like, dude, he's never even tried to do it natural. He just jumped into it, and he was taking ridiculous amount of stuff, and I was like, you need to pump the brakes like now. And he never did. He kept doing what his coach told him, and he kept pursuing what he did. He had a back full of acne. He looked good. I mean, he looks good for his physique, but I think he's definitely destroying himself in the long run.
Well, that's a chemical release, so that's a clear sign of fucking complete toxicity in the body, man. And when you're that young, you just don't fucking need it, man. You just don't. Like, honest to God. Yeah. For example, Deion, he's natty. You can tell because he's so small. But when he competed, he beat a lot of big dudes.
If I don't laugh, it's not. It's not funny. Real, yeah, that was just an insult. So now look at this. Now you feel bad.
I don't feel bad. No. Cody does maybe.
Tiny fuck.
But he was conditioned to shit. He had quality muscle, quality posing. Everything about it was spot on. And I'm sure from the looks of things, because there's a lot of gyno, he competed against dudes that were all geared up. And he smashed a good handful of them. You know what I mean? So
that's impressive.
To your credit, Brand, like, and to the topic of like these young dudes wanting to take gear and SARM and all this. You really don't. You need some fucking work ethic and some consistency and some discipline. And you motherfucking young dudes have everything you need genetically to get the job done. Yeah. Stop fucking your bodies up with this bullshit, man.
Definitely gotta peak while you're still young.
Yeah,
you gotta
for
peak,
sure.
You gotta peak first, and then you can introduce yourself to it if you want to. But once you get on it, you're not gonna ever want to get off of it.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
There's a big issue, and I mean I felt it when I was younger, 18, 17. I was like, yeah, I want to do this. This is what I wanted to do, and ever since then I've just been pushing myself from saying I want to do this to you need to cap out. You have so much potential. You're not doing all the things. Until you're doing all the things, you don't need to add in something else.
Yeah, there's so many variables you can use aside from throwing in all the synthetic shit.
Especially because most people don't even know like what they should be doing. What are the steps? Right. It's not gear, training, fucking sleeping, and then learning how to work out. It's fucking sleeping, eating, training, and then when you cap that out, then you can go to gear. Then it's
I'm actually really impressed with you, Deion, because you definitely wanted to make sure that you got to where you could before you even thought about wanting to take it. And that's a shout out to you and Eric. I'm sure both of you guys come together as far as you wanted to pursue the natural route and to make sure that you could peak while you're still young.
Yeah, so. And I mean, there's something to say. I appreciate that also, but it's something to say about knowing you want it bad enough. You know, it's not just like something I do for clout or just to grow my social media because I don't care about any of that. It's like I wanted to compete, especially this last time, to make sure that it fits in my life, you know? Like my girl can handle it. She understands what the life is like. My work, we can handle it. We can figure it out. We all understand what this process takes, and I can continue to do it. Right. Like I know I can. you know? So can I do it at the next level? That's where we go from here.
Right. That's dope. And I love that too, like in the sense of you being natty. Eric's finding ways to put the size on you through nutrition. He's
That's the way to
playing
go.
around with the nutrition.
Gotta fucking
eat. I
eat.
mean, you were dieting on what 3,200 calories or 3,300 calories.
3,200
were
is like
cutting?
my maintenance.
Yeah,
And then other than that, we didn't go below 2,300 until after 4 weeks out,
Yeah.
which is nuts. So
That's quality.
and we
though.
never really
That's- yeah,
did
that's a quality.
2,300. So
that's like
the messed up
growing into
thing.
the show.
Yeah.
As opposed to just fucking getting super
Cutting.
skinny. Yeah, and cut up.
That's the problem. What happened to me in 2020 was because I just got fucking huge, but I actually needed to be down to like, I was 301 when we first started, and I needed to be down to like 218 roughly to be perfect.
That's so big.
Yeah, you competed at a weight class at the bottom of a weight class, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of the top.
Yeah.
Well, 225 is the max for heavyweight.
Okay.
But to be shredded, I needed to be down to like 215, 218 at that time.
And how much were you on
I
stage?
was like 225 when I weighed in. So
Oh, that's what you did make heavyweight. You were
Yeah.
gonna be super, and
Yeah,
then
I
you
made heavyweight,
Yeah, you
yeah.
made heavyweight. yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
but I still wasn't conditioned enough to be where I was. That's the problem. And when I cut, I was a little bit too chubby, so I cut a lot of the muscle
Tissue
that I had,
off, yeah.
to get to what I needed to be. So that's the problem. You just diet is definitely 100% what you need to pursue. You know,
Yeah, especially at that young age, man. It's crazy to see these dudes just want to jack themselves all up and then
Yeah.
try to ride that wave. And
They trained for 6
you want
months.
to, but you'll cap out so
Yeah.
early. You know, like without saying names, but how many times have we seen dudes locally, young as fuck,
Yeah.
get all geared up? They look fucking good. I'll give them, the credit. They're covered in fucking back knee and all that shit. But these dudes look good. Some of them have really good genetics, and so the gear just fucking fills them up nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before they hit 25, these motherfuckers they tapped out, man.
Yeah.
They had to take a break. They got fucking mental damage. They got all this shit going on. And then they need to have these big off seasons and get their shit together, get their brains right. Their bodies all fucked up from all the shit they were taking that they didn't need to take.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of messes with the ride. It messes with the journey. 100% you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, I mean-
and we're always going to be on your ass about making sure you stay there until it's a necessity or until it's
Yeah.
something that you desire and feel like you need to do. But fuck, I've seen people go really far naturally.
Yeah.
Now, there's some crazy shit because I just found this out recently too. So the guy that I met at WeFest, he's the one that got me the stuff, right? And before I left for the DC this last time, we had that party bus.
Yeah.
that we went out.
Yep.
Well, I went to an after party at somebody's house, and I left and started walking down the road, and this guy saw me and picked me up.
And it was him.
It was him.
No fucking way.
And we got to talking about. He didn't give me stuff for a long time. It's been a long time, but we got to talking about the stuff, right? And he finally told me like where he got it from. Some bullshit ass website from China. It's
Oh.
bullshit ass website that anybody could go to.
Damn.
Bunk. I'm not saying it was 100% like bullshit.
There was nothing in
But
it.
it
But
probably
not saying
wasn't
it
very
wa-
quality purity.
It wasn't good stuff.
it probably wasn't what it
Wasn't
said
good
it
stuff.
was,
And I
you know?
remember I told him, I was like, I wanted to fight him that night because I told him about the scar that I had on my leg. I still have. And it's been a long time since then. But I got a scar on my leg from taking that stuff from a big pimple that I got that never went away because it was fake shit. Wasn't good quality stuff.
I can't believe he came out and told you.
Yeah.
That is
And I
crazy.
told him, I was like, you motherfucker. You motherfucker.
And he caught you drunk too. That
Yeah.
guy was in for it.
I was like, dude. I ended up forgiving him.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
forgiving person, but
That would definitely get to me though as well. Like
Yeah.
if you were the person that gave somebody
you're
that, it's
spending
like,
so much money, and
Yeah.
just knowing now how much money I spent, and it was all fake.
yeah,
It wasn't good stuff, and just knowing that if I actually was taking quality shit, where else could I have gone? If I was taking quality shit,
yeah.
you never know. But
And that says to a lot of the people that are young taking this
You
stuff.
did-
You don't
but
know.
so at the time, I bet you thought that shit was fucking working, which proves so much about your mentality
Yeah.
and just like the belief system. Like
Yeah.
you thought you had it until you probably saw the progress from
Yeah.
it.
did.
Again, you young motherfuckers, stay out your head,
Yeah.
get focused, and fucking manifest that shit. Wish it.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that. I mean, I just came home a couple of days ago and I've been in Metroflex, and there's a lot of new kids there.
Yeah, lots.
A lot of
people,
new
bro.
kids.
Lots. I don't know half the members anymore. I used to know everybody.
And just seeing some of the kids, you can definitely tell who's doing what.
Yeah.
Just based on how much stuff that they have on their backs.
Yeah.
And but it's just funny because I show up and I get like these like death stares now. Not death stares, but they're like, who the fuck is that guy? You know,
That's because you don't show up quietly.
Yeah.
Cody doesn't enter a room quietly and inconspicuously. Cody shows up and everybody knows fucking Cody's around.
Yo, what's up? You know, I talked to Jordan Clint Camber and he's like, hey, welcome home.
Yeah.
But I was getting a lot of stares. And then tonight it was funny because I showed up and it was late at night. It was right before I got here. It was late at night. And I'm warming up my shoulders and everything. This guy next to me, he's like, dude, I fucking love this gym, bro. I was like, yeah, dude, this gym is awesome, isn't it? He's like, yeah, dude, this gym is fucking awesome. He's like, I'm from Bismarck, and I come down here to visit my girlfriend, and I always come here. It's fucking awesome. I love this gym. He's like, I saw this dude take his shirt off, and he was just fucking huge, and I was like, damn, this gym is fucking awesome. And he was like, I went over to Evo, and that gym's cool too, but this gym is fucking awesome. Like, he was just like obsessed with Metroflex.
That's legit.
And he just kept talking to me. He's like, yeah, I might actually move up to Fargo to pursue my professional bodybuilding. Because that's how much he loves Metroflex.
Yeah.
And that's how much
we get that a lot from a lot of people, bro. Like
For
that.
sure.
Yeah.
I can tell you firsthand, there's a handful of people in the gym that have moved to Fargo to be close. We had dudes that were members living in Jamestown and shit, bro, or Grand Forks or DL, and some of them have just said, man, I just had an opportunity. I said, fuck it, I'm moving to Fargo. I've had people tell me they're contemplating moving into Fargo just so they can go to that gym. So we've done something dope there for sure, man. I love it.
sure.
I love that people give us that feedback because that keeps us understanding what we're doing is the right path for sure.
It was just funny the way that he was just like so open to me. I had no idea who the fuck this guy was. But he saw me. He's like, this guy fucking lifts. I'm going to talk to him.
You know, you could appreciate this.
You know, you can appreciate it. So then we talked about bodybuilding.
He probably thought you were a noob too. He was probably like, I'm going to go talk to this
fucking
noob
new guy. There was a group of kids in there that was like, this gym's not big enough for the two of us or something like that. And I just laughed. I was like, oh, man.
Every time you're doing a movement, they come by and stare you down and walk past you.
Who the fuck is this guy?
You get that a lot though.
I said, bitch, I'm an OG.
You used to complain about that shit though.
Oh,
I remember that. It used to make you really insecure. You used to be like, man, why are these motherfuckers always staring at me?
I didn't like that.
I'm like, bro,
like
they're
it.
a fan of you.
I
Fucking
know.
let it be, man.
It took a long time for me to accept that, to accept people looking at you while you're working out. But especially when I was competing, when I was all shredded, people would stare at me.
Yeah.
I fucking hated it. I hated it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, why the fuck am I wearing a tank top if I don't like that? Yeah. Why wouldn't I cover
That's like
up?
the girl in the booty shorts.
I was gonna say,
exactly.
Motherfuckers are always staring at my ass when I'm working out. It's like, well, you only wear those shorts on ass
you
day.
dumb fuck. Then you should have put a fucking sweatshirt on if you didn't want people to stare at you. Of course I wanted people to look at me. I had my fucking tank top on.
Yeah.
I
Stringer
still
at
do.
that.
I still do. I mean,
Nipples out, just
come on.
Yeah.
I gotta pee again.
Ah, fuck yeah. That's great.
But yeah, it's nice to see a lot of new faces in the gym, though. I just hope that when I come back, everybody understands the gym etiquette that I require when I'm at the gym.
What is that? Make sure you let everybody know.
So one thing that I love about Metroflex is that the OGs in the gym that have been there a while, they require you to follow gym etiquette. And that's put your weights away where they belong. Don't hog up any machines. Don't walk around on your fucking cell phone. And you work your ass off while you're there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hardcore training facility. We're there to fucking lift. We're there to train hard. We're there to have fun with each other, but we're there to do something, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm out in DC, there's zero gym etiquette. Everybody leaves their weights around everywhere. I showed you a picture of the Gold's gym.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I love that gym, but goddamn, when people, the dumbbell rack is empty because the dumbbells are spread out all over the fucking place.
See, I don't understand
I'd be
that,
so
though.
pissed.
Like, that's weird when it gets that
So,
bad.
so
That's
get this.
fucking
So
weird.
get this. We showed up there, and that's been a problem for a long time. But we showed up there, and I started complaining to the front desk. Of course, me complaining, and the people that I was with, we told them like, I've never seen a gym this fucking terrible about gym etiquette. This is fucking bad. And we told them straight up, like, we're about to cancel because we can't handle this shit anymore. And the next day they had signs, big homemade signs on the mirrors above the dumbbells. Put your weights away or some shit like that. It says, keep the dumbbells here, put them away or whatever. And they had them plastered all over the mirror. And they actually had somebody walking around making sure that people were putting their weights away. So after that, it started to get a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But then DC came out with our mask mandate, so we had to get the fuck out of there again. So I had to go to LA Fitness, which is an all right gym. But
It's where you belong, though.
It's an LA Fitness. So it's no Metroflex, it's no Gold Gym. Yeah. It's an LA Fitness. And the thing about LA Fitness is if their equipment breaks down, they have to put a request in for somebody to come and fix it. So that shit is fucking broke for a long time. So I don't really like that gym. But working out at Metroflex, the fucking weights are going to be put away where at least the dumbbells. Usually 9 times out of 10, the dumbbells are always where they need to be.
Yeah, you'll never usually find the dumbbells missing or shit.
That's the biggest thing for me is that the fucking dumbbells are put where they need to be.
We have a lot of dumbbells though too.
Yes, we have a shit ton of dumbbells, but being put where they need to be. Yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve. But I don't really mind where I know a lot of like Rock Solid Ross. He hates it when people put the plates away wrong or puts them on the racks wrong. He hates that.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But mine is the dumbbells.
Yeah.
So I remember when
Cody's just name dropping everybody.
For real.
Rock Solid, baby. I remember when you opened back up, we had a lot of students come from NDSU.
Yeah.
Because you were the only gym in town basically that was open. And there was a group of kids that came there, and I was working out with Sam at the time, and they were in the back of the gym doing something. They had loaded up the machine, and then they took all the weights off, and there was like a fuck ton of weights laying on the ground. And then I watched them leave the machine and go to another one. And I was like, dude, I was watching them because I was like, I know that they're going to just leave it there. And I was like, Sam, look at all those weights that they fucking left. He's like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I was like, fuck. I can't. I cannot.
Yo, this is funny because damn, we've been talking for a minute. This shit, I think, is part of what started, like, your notorious reputation for being like that guy or the asshole at the gym and shit, you know. And then I got included in it because it was like, oh, now I'm favoring Cody all the time and I back Cody's play and all this. And I'm just like, no, just like anybody else in the gym, motherfuckers are doing what they want, and I step in when it becomes a fucking issue. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily defend Cody unless he's in the right. But it started this consensus about who you are. People, and I say this all the time to people, like, people misunderstand who you are because you have such a abrasive personality.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is you're soft as hell. Mm-hmm. You're super nice, and you're always gonna end the confrontation in kind of a cordial manner. Yeah. And when I say you're soft, I'm not calling you a punk. I just mean you're not really out to fucking go down with people. You know what I mean? I've seen confrontations with you and other people, and it always the fire gets put out before it escalates. But yeah, that's it's just funny because that's kind of a reputation that you have in the gym.
And I get that.
But you brought that a lot of it on yourself because you of all the bodybuilders that we know, you're one of the worst preppers when it comes to attitude and personality.
I'm a fucking bear.
Yeah, like we almost got into it before. Yeah. Like when we were first starting to fuck with you.
They don't know that, but yes, him and I got into a confrontation because I showed up on an empty stomach.
Pissed.
Empty stomach, just fucking ready to do my 45 minutes of fasted cardio that I don't want to do. And I saw that the leg press was fully loaded with plates. And John had come with his crew, Lobies and somebody else. I think.
No, we were in a meeting.
Were you in a
Yeah,
meeting?
because you kicked the fucking door open while I was in a meeting with like
Damn right.
a group of people, and he's like, "Is anybody gonna fucking work around here?" And I was like, "Holy fuck, this fool's tripping right now." I got pissed.
Well, I
dog.
remember like I thought that these two girls wanted to use the leg press, but they didn't use it because there was so much weight on it. And they want to take it off. So I was like, "What the fuck?" So then I went into the office. I was like, "What the fuck's the deal? Is anybody gonna work around here?" Or some shit like that. And then John's like, "What the fuck did you say?"
I got mad on me.
He did.
Because he literally he didn't knock or nothing. He just fucking busted the door open, bro. And we're literally in a meeting. And I'm just like, damn, this was tripping. And so he walks away all pissed off.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there trying to continue my meeting, and I'm so fucking distracted now. I'm just like, you know what, fuck this. I gotta go talk to this fool.
Yeah.
So I go out there to see what's going on, and he's bitching about all the plates on the fucking.
Well,
the
first you
press
went and
and
asked
shit.
the girls. You were like, "Did you want to use the leg press?" And they're like, "No, we were just impressed by how much weight was on there." Or some shit.
Yeah.
And then you told me that, and I was like, "Oh fuck." And I just fuck. And then you walked away. Like both of us were still pissed off, and you walked away, and you came back after my workout, and we didn't even say anything to each other. We just went up and started hugging each other.
I
We
saw
didn't say
you.
shit.
Yeah, he walks up to me and he's just like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry." And I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, it was a little more confrontational than we're leading on, because I remember I was pissed, bro.
You were.
I was done with Cody's shit at that
No,
time.
you were.
Yeah,
I remember you were, but I remember when you came up to me.
Yeah, because you said, you said something like, "Oh, so it's gonna be like that." I'm like, "It's gonna be however the fuck you want it to be."
Yeah.
You're like, "So what are we gonna do about it?" I'm like, "You tell me, motherfucker." And then it was just quiet for a minute, and he just walked away. He's like, "This is bullshit." He was all pissed off, bro. I went back in the office. Yeah, he worked out.
I went and worked out, and then you came up to me, and
Yeah.
we just squashed it right there. But yeah, that's
funny.
That was 2016's prep.
Yeah.
That was the hardest prep I've ever done. I was not good.
Nah, it was bad. It was rough.
But no, I remember like, so when those kids were in there and I saw all those plates, I told Sam, I was like, I got to go see something. I was like, if they're going to be in this gym, they got to follow the rules. So I went up to him and I said, "Hey, can you please just put the weights away? We don't, in this gym, we really follow gym etiquette." And I was really cordial about it. And he was actually really like responsive to it. He's like, "Oh yeah, for sure. And he ended up putting his weights away, which, I thought it was pretty cool. But it's just little stuff like that I will call people out on their shit if they don't follow gym etiquette rules. Because if nobody is there to fucking call people out, it's gonna get let go and shit's gonna go haywire.
Yeah, no,
so you need people that are there to call people out when they're fucking doing some stupid shit.
Yeah, we say it all the time, man. This is home. People call it their home gym all the time, and I'm like, well, you don't fucking take care of home. Like, why do you always leave it up to us to say, hey, you know what? I was gonna tell you guys, I saw somebody the other day. They fucking fucked that thing up over there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, did you say something to them? They're like, well, I didn't want to get involved.
I don't want to get involved. Yeah.
I'm just like, and I hate telling people get involved. But you should, like, what do you mean? You pay to be here. This is your gym.
Yeah.
You pay a membership. You pay your hard-earned money to be here, and you're just gonna let people fuck it up and then come to us. And what I always tell people is, like, what you guys don't understand about being the gym owner or working in the gym when you're an employee is, to you, it's a one-off situation, right? You come and you bitch about something. You're like, look, I never do this, but this is bullshit. But to us, that's like our 9th or 10th time that day somebody complained and bitched to us. And it's just like, when are you motherfuckers with all this care and all this attitude about shit going to step to the fucking plate and tell people, hey, let's take care of our fucking home gym? Like, it requires a certain level of everybody's participation to really take care of the gym, because we can't see everything and we can't handle everything. We're a big gym now, man. So I always appreciate when people do that. The problem is everyone thinks, oh, you're always out defending Cody. I'm like, no, I'm defending what Cody was defending because he's fucking right about it. It has nothing to do with I favor Cody or, we're fucking boys and we've gotten really close, but it's not about favoritism. It's about right and wrong. And when you're fucking wrong, you're fucking wrong. But wrong people never want to admit when they're wrong. And so it's always turned into this favoritism thing. Like, Cody's your favorite person. You'll let him do whatever. And whatever he tells you, it's just like, come on, you guys. Like, are you really that fucking immature?
But looking back over the past, I don't know how many years we've been open, but we've definitely weeded out a lot of people that
but I always say, I don't think we've lost members that were detrimental losses.
No.
We've lost people that were like good.
Yeah.
bounce.
I look,
you were bad blood here.
I look back and see who left, and I'm like, well,
and the ones that didn't necessarily leave on bad terms, a lot of them always end up coming back too.
Yeah.
We've had people dip because they didn't like something, or they they were upset about something, or they just wanted to try something different, and mosey right on back a year later and just be like, yeah, I couldn't do it. This is
even people that left on bad terms still eventually come back and
we have a guy in our gym who left on really bad terms. Like, he was pissed about overcharges he was claiming, and we're like, they weren't overages, they were late fees and shit, man. And you went into collections, and he was just fucking screaming and yelling.
It's a hard concept.
He went off on Kayla and was just like, you never contacted me, you're full of this. He just went off, and like, she left notes in his account like, this motherfucker is never welcome back in this gym.
Yeah.
Like, never.
Yeah.
And he shows up a couple years later, and he's at the front desk with Laura, and he's like, I want to turn my membership back on. I've been training from home, and I'm at a new level where I need a facility like this to get it done. He's like, I used to be a member. She's like, okay. So she looks it up. She sees all the notes. She comes to get me, and she's just like, this guy's trying to come back to the gym, and we have a problem. I'm like, all right. So she catches me up. I go read the notes. I'm like, all right, bet. I'd look at dude, and he's like owning this shit, right? He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm sure I have like late fees, and I know I was like in collections and or whatever. He's like, but I'll pay whatever I owe, and I just want to turn my membership back on and come back if I can come back. And then, so I just told him, I'm like, well, here's what the notes say. Like, you left on really bad terms. You cussed out my wife, and she doesn't want you back in this facility. And he owned he was just like, and this is how we operate. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get pissed and probably ban you. I've banned plenty of people for fighting and whatever.
Right.
But I've always let them come back. It's always been like probationary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely
and I told this dude, I said, look, man, like, I don't play that shit here. I like to take care of my gym. I like to take care of the people that come to my gym, and especially my employees. And like, you're not gonna just talk to people and do shit like that. You did that, and it's a really bad thing. But if you can tell me that you want to come back here and play by the fucking rules and understand that we have policies, we're not just some dumb mom and pop shop, like, we can look past this, and we'll check and see what you owe. And he's like, you don't even have, he's like, I thought I took care of it, my collections. He's like, but it doesn't matter, I'll pay it again right now. I really want to come back to this gym really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Turns out he didn't owe us. He did pay his collection a while back and just never did the proper due diligence to show up on our end. So when we figured that out, we're like, you don't owe us shit, actually. So let's sign you back up, and let's just try and rebuild this relationship.
Yep.
Solid motherfucker, bro. So, super strong. He's like a power lifter.
Yeah.
Super strong dude. Really solid. Every time he sees me, he says, what's up? Just the nicest motherfucker in the world. Sometimes things are just a misunderstanding, or sometimes you just catch somebody on a bad day and they act out. Cody has a lot of bad days and he acts out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut.
But I'm understanding of that kind of shit is what I'm trying to point out. Like, I deal with it not just with Cody, I do it with a lot of people, man, because I get that shit. I understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can be rough around the edges, but most of the time they didn't mean it, or they didn't mean to be so harsh at the time. They were upset about something. That's kind of how that dude passed it off. He's like, look, man, it was a bad time in my life. Shit was going on. I own it. I really apologize. I will never do that again. I fucking love this gym. I want to be here. I need this gym. And to me, like, maybe he stroked my pride a little bit, but I was like, fuck, that's dope to me.
Yeah.
Like, I want you back. I want people in here who appreciate it like that, who understand what we're trying to build and create here as far as an atmosphere goes. And he owned that shit 100%. He signed back up, bro. And he's like one of my favorite members because he's just a cool as fuck guy.
He is.
Really cool as fuck. So it's shit like that. Same with you, man. Like, you rubbed me the wrong way a couple times. You've rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in the gym. I didn't always just have your back necessarily.
No.
I supported what you were doing when it was right, and when it was wrong, I let you know. Now that's not how it goes. Dog,
you definitely, and they don't know this, but you definitely kept me in check. They don't know what was said behind the scenes either.
Right. But they don't have to.
Yeah, they
just got to know that I dealt with it, I fixed it, and that my concern is with the people, not any one individual, and that's how I try to operate it all the time. But people get that wrong because we hang out outside of the gym and shit. They think, yeah, that's just his fucking...
he's got his back. He's going to do whatever he wants.
Like, no, motherfucker.
It's not like that.
Especially if you're my fucking boy, I'm going to fucking wrong you anytime you're wrong because you're my boy. You know what I mean? I don't favor.
That's your business.
But I don't favor my boys in the wrong direction. Is what I'm saying. Like, if you're my boy, I'm not gonna favor you in the wrong direction so you could stay a fuck up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the first dude to tell you, nah, that's bullshit. You're fucking up, and you should correct that shit because I don't want to be around people like that either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, I think they just don't understand that. But a lot of people have me misconstrued in this community, bro.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
No,
so
I get that.
So it's whatever. At this stage of my life, I don't even give a fuck.
You're
anymore.
a thug.
Yeah. I used to
thug.
give a fuck, man. I used to give a fuck so much. I don't anymore
Yeah.
because they got it
Well,
wrong.
you learned.
And,
You
and,
learned.
and these people aren't the majority. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like every time I go through some shit and I've made it public and I'm just like, look, this isn't what I'm about. These people are spreading lies on me
All the time.
So many fucking people come to me like, bro, no one's buying that shit. You
Yeah.
should chill. You should stop going public and don't worry about it. Like, they're not the majority. These people are just like a small group of motherfuckers running their mouth because they're butthurt about some shit, you know? And the more that I started to understand that and believe, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. And it's never affected me again. You know what I mean? I just do my thing, man.
Yeah.
And
I've definitely noticed that because I've been there since day one when we opened up.
Yeah.
I was the witness about all the events that transpired from start to finish.
and you were actually present for a lot of that shit.
I was there.
Yeah,
I was there when it happened. So it really pisses me off when people make up lies about everything that happened between you and so and so.
Anybody. Yeah.
So especially when I get this other gym that opens up, and then I hear all the rumors and bullshit that they're talking, and they don't even fucking know because they weren't there,
Right.
and that pisses me off.
Yeah. It used to piss me off. I don't care because you know one thing I tell everybody is whenever people run their mouth about me, I always confront it with the person directly. I don't just go, oh, they're talking mad shit
Right.
and run with it. I reach out to those people and I say, hey,
Like
I'm
a
hearing
fucking
this.
man.
Yeah, I'm hearing
Yeah,
this
like
shit,
a
and I just want to
fucking
clear the
man.
air because I don't got a problem with you, homie. Like, what's the situation? Every time, I kid you not, every person you think about or that you guys listening know that I've
Who
had a
it
beef
is.
with.
Yes.
I promise you, I've confronted every single one of them motherfuckers, from Branch Warren to Joe Schmo, who's a nobody, and
That's a
they've
fact.
all bowed to me
That's a
and
fact.
said, nah, bro, I've never done that. I fucking love you. I support you. I want to see you succeed. And you got one of the dopest gyms ever. And I'm just like, I bet.
Minus a
That's
couple-
all I need to hear.
A couple of people didn't respond to you because they were too scared. But
Yeah, some haven't and didn't say shit. Some didn't say anything
They
for a
just
long
talked
time.
behind your back.
But then when they had to face me, they were like, nah. I
Oh, yeah.
don't do that, bro. I got So I don't feed into it no more. If you don't have the fucking balls to come to me and tell me you have an issue to my face, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
It doesn't. You know what I mean? Why would I get upset? Like, oh, he's saying this and that behind your back. I'm like, cool. I talked to him in person. He didn't say it.
Yeah.
So why sweat it, right? Like, and I'm not trying to say like I'm a badass, but I
they-
literally
yeah.
will confront the issue because I don't want drama. I don't. There's no drama here for me to have.
right.
So I try to address it like a fucking man, like you said, and just be like, yo, what's going on? Because I'm sure we could fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always there's not a problem, nothing.
Yeah,
And so if you tell me that that's your story, I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know. And now you got to live with that, not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to look in the mirror every day and be like, damn, why couldn't I say it? When he was right there, I could have said it. I could have reached out and smacked him.
and that's the thing.
They didn't.
Like, that's the thing. Like when I told you I can't keep my mouth shut, whenever I hear these little rumors being passed around,
Yeah.
it just pisses me off, and I can't keep my mouth shut because I know the truth and I know what happened. I was there.
I appreciate that, man.
I was there
That
the
means a
whole
lot
time.
to me that we have that understanding and,
And
that bond
even
over the years, man.
in the beginning when it first started, I didn't take sides because I was friends with both parties.
Yeah.
But after everything transpired, the one party just completely cut us off, didn't talk to us, and then it just kind of escalated from there.
Spun the
because
whole thing to all
he
kinds of
fucking
shit.
went off and told the whole damn town all these fucking bullshit ass lies, and I witnessed that, and I was like, wow, that's a fucking bitch ass move.
Yeah.
First off, you cut me off when I was friends with you,
Yeah. You weren't on
I wasn't
one side,
involved.
Yeah.
and he cut me off, and then he went and spread all these fucking bullshit ass rules. But I was really young at the time when this happened, and I didn't really understand what was going on. But as the years progressed, I understood everything that was been going on. I listened to all the chatter, and I was like, you know what, dude, that's such fucking bitch ass shit right there. And ever since then, like I really wanted to become the person of loyalty. I know you guys did a podcast about loyalty, but that's my biggest thing to me personally, is to be fucking loyal
Yeah.
and to have somebody that you can depend on no matter what. And I know that you had that person, you thought that was loyal. They turned their back on you and they spread all this fucking bullshit, and it just went downhill from there.
But no rumors or bullshit that people ever talk to me has ever transpired to be true. Has ever come to fruition,
and that's what
or ever been
off.
exposed. Like nothing that anyone's ever said about me
fake.
has ever been proven or shown to be factual.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've never even in that situation you're speaking of. I didn't even have to defend myself on that one.
No,
as much as I wanted to.
You didn't.
Yeah,
you didn't.
I didn't go
and
public. I didn't defend.
I wish you would have.
But it worked out in my favor because, you know, the person tried to expose me for being a fraud in this industry, and that I used this person to get into this industry. But then I continue to succeed, and this person's not even involved in this industry anymore. And it's just like, well, you know, time will tell everything.
Yeah,
and time proved who was right and who was wrong in that situation, or who was telling the truth, so to speak. And
you had a mind for how you wanted this gym to be.
Since before
it was only your dream. It was only your vision, you and your wife, that built this gym. It wasn't this other person. They were just along for the ride.
Yeah. A lot of people were though. But for some reason, this individual tried to claim some stake in the business that wasn't really existing.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
And they were gone. They were gone. They weren't a part of it, but yet it continued. Every year escalate with other people and other gyms, and then other gyms started getting involved, and that's where I would lash out on social media because it pisses me off to know that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Right, I do. I was there. I witnessed start to finish about everything that happened. And it's really frustrating to see that. And I wish that they knew what I know, because they wouldn't be fucking talking.
But even then, you know, we could tell them in exhaust our very last breath trying to explain to them, no, here's what really fucking happened. But some people
just don't want to listen.
Yeah, well, there's a certain prejudice that people get with me, you know what I mean? And I don't mean racist, even though that does exist. But
white privilege.
Not even that. I don't believe in white privilege. I mean, that's a whole nother fucking episode.
White privilege.
But people get this certain like perception about me or whatever, or prejudice towards me. So when someone tells you a story about the bald-headed tattoo guy from California who everyone thinks is a thug or a gangster, when someone tells you a story about my bad behavior, my criminal activity, or me being a snake or all the shit, it's kind of believable because you've already had that prejudice about me. You're like, yeah, this dude's different. Look at him. You know, why does he look like that? So it's real easy for people to get a leg up on me and just say, hey, no, man, I heard some shit. You know, like I had dudes that I'm close with too, that I've known for long before the gym shit, man, that I've known from when I was, you know, doing music and shit. I've had dudes tell other people that they're not training at my gym, even though they're heavy into this industry now. They don't train at my gym because they heard things about me.
Heard things.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn,
the fuck up.
You want to know aside is one of the dudes that I'm speaking of specifically, he was supposed to be like some kind of a hood food from, I don't know where he was from, but when I was in the music game, he acted like he was a hood cat. And for him to side with some bullshit rumors that some Poindexter ass dude who's born and raised in Fargo, North Dakota told them, and then throw me under the rug with that story and not want to fuck with me over that.
Wannabe bodybuilder.
Well, no, but that proved to me right out the gate, like, oh, you're not really a credible street fool either, because we don't pull shit like that.
Yeah,
we don't do the gossip game, homie. We don't play like that. No. Yeah, it was total bitch move, but it's easy. It's easy to take prejudice against me and believe a story like that. Yeah. I get that part. I really do, which is why I've always exhausted myself in trying to come off as the opposite of what I think people are going to think about me. Like the story I told you about my old job, when HR used to tell me people were, you know, complaining about me all the time and shit. Like they were scared to work with me at night and shit, you know, just because of the way I look. Never mind, I was the top fucking salesman, agent. Yeah. You know what I mean? I had the best stats. I was fucking on my way to be a supervisor and all. Never mind all of my credibility and all the shit that I showed on a regular basis of who I actually was. They went based off their prejudice against me. Plain and simple. And people continue to do that. Now that I'm in business and I'm succeeding and I'm doing well and I'm dominating the industry in our region, I don't even have to have anyone tell me. I know for a fucking fact I am, bro. I know what my bank accounts look like for my gym. Yeah. Like we're killing it, right? And when people try to say that I'm this or I'm that or I'm doing this, I just laugh. I'm like, all right, cool.
And I want to say that I've known you for a long time, and the amount that you have given back to your members in your community. I'm sure they don't know about it, but maybe some people do, but you have given back a lot.
But in a real way, to the point where I don't advertise it or have to boast about it.
You don't boast about it or say anything about it. Yeah. They don't know that, but you've given back a lot too, and that's something that's amazing to me. And I will go down to my dying breath to make sure that this gym succeeds. And I know I don't have to, because Metroflex is always going to be number one in Fargo, but
just wait. It's getting
and
better.
By the way, I know that for a fact that Metroflex is going to be bigger and better, in the near future too, because we have to expand, because we have too much members in the gym and it's getting crowded in there because we have so many fucking people. We got to get out of there.
We've successfully grown every year since the day we opened.
Yep.
And we're continuing to do that, to the point where it's like, it might be time to make a decision on expanding or
well, you have other ambitions that you want to do with the gym too.
Yeah. Oh, we're far from being in final form for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So a lot of big things are happening. I keep saying that because I just like to leave it loose ended.
But good stuff takes time. It always does. To find the perfect location and exactly what you want. And I'm glad that you waited until you found this building, because I know there was another building that you wanted, which was a really shitty building that
still
ended
for
up
sale.
It ended up collapsing too, right? It collapsed. Yeah, it collapsed
Twice.
So you waited for this building, and we got this building, and it was a perfect building because you got the backspace and shit like that.
We're in a great location. Our building is dope to be in. It'll forever hold a place in my heart as like the beginning stages of everything where my life changed.
It's just time to level up.
But it's definitely time to level up. Like me not leveling up at this point will be detrimental to the business. Mm-hmm. So it's a must have. So but it's things that are in work. We don't know exactly how we're going to level up necessarily, or maybe we do and we just don't want to share it. But there's definitely a level up that's
I know
that has to take
I
place.
Know.
Yeah.
I won't say anything though.
Like I'm at the point where, and I always say this, and I don't have to even say it's not arrogance, because everybody knows I got a fucking ill ego about the shit that I'm capable of doing, but we can't be touched.
No,
you can think whatever you fucking want to think.
No,
you can act like you're an innovator or doing all this shit, but nobody did what the fuck is going on in the industry on a local level until I did it. 2015,
baby.
So
that's when he first started. Yeah. That's when we first started hanging the flags in the gym too.
everything, the whole concept.
Hey, I just gotta be real, all right?
No, I feel that.
You first started the actual hardcore training facility, the way that you see it, and the way that other gyms had kind of taken their.
Bro, route. I've helped several of the gyms on the local level build their concepts.
Yeah,
they literally came to me and said, "I want."
Sure, there was a lot of people that went.
Yeah. Yeah, guaranteed. I've talked about it on the podcast. We've even told the story on the podcast.
Let's go build a gym.
But like, I've helped people build their gyms. The only people that give me credit for having done that are the ones that are still cool with me. Everyone else that's not cool with me anymore acts like I did nothing.
Don't buy the same equipment as me, otherwise you're copying.
God.
You're copying.
But see, and even now with that, like, I don't want to beef with that situation again.
That's fucking stupid.
No, but like. I'm just saying I'm not co-signing. You can feel however you want about it.
Yeah,
I'm not co-signing it because it, to me it doesn't matter.
Strength is fucking.
But I don't have a beef with those people, bro. They had a beef with me or have a beef with me, whatever it may be. I don't have one with them.
I'll still beef.
You know who I want to beef with, bro? I want to beef with people doing it better than me. You know what I mean? I want those
better than you.
Whoa, they're not no one local.
Nobody around here.
But I want that's gonna push me to a new level to compete with someone who could beat me.
Apex Moorhead.
Apex.
Those
guys, they're coming up, bro.
Shout out to Apex Moorhead.
Yeah, bunch of dorks.
Yeah, you fucking losers.
Just kidding, man. No, but man, those are my guys. You know what I mean? I got nothing but love for all three of those motherfuckers four of them who own that fucking gym, bro.
They're cool as fuck.
They're all cool as fuck. Yeah. I support them 100%. I work with them.
Ty's a little bitch though.
Yeah, Ty's my guy, man. Ty, I'll tell you what, and I said this I think a little bit on the previous podcast, but Ty is one of the biggest contributors to what we have going on at Metroflex. Sure. There's a big aspect of what we have going on that if that dude never showed up, wouldn't exist. 1,000%. Ty's always going to be my dude.
I will say when he had his gym open, I went to his gym and I tagged myself. I took a picture. I took a selfie. Do you remember this? I tagged myself. I said, I can't wait for Metroflex to open. And Ty got mad at me. And he unfriended me on Facebook and everything. And then he, of course, he came to Metroflex and we were cool.
What would you expect if you were him? Mike, do you expect any little? Like, what would you?
No, that's what I mean. Though. This is how Cody's always been.
Would you imagine I go to
Yeah, I'd
your
be
gym,
pissed.
I tag myself. I can't wait for Metroflex though.
Fucking just
Yeah.
something
The funniest one for me was
I
when
didn't even know you that. I didn't even know you that.
You're lucky
And
Ty's still
I
your
didn't even-
friend, honestly.
I didn't even know John, and I still went there. I tagged Metroflex. I was like, fuck, you know. But
yeah, you weren't our first member, but I remember you wanted to be our first member.
I was the original 9.
You know who our first member was?
Ooh,
Bankers.
Oh my God.
Justin Bankers. He was our he wanted to be our first member when we opened our pre-sale.
he
whatever.
actually introduced me to you.
Yeah, he was our first member. He was always accredited for being the first dude to
How
sign
did he
up
know
at
you?
Metro. I don't know. I think when we signed the contract and we bought into the franchise and we made a post in like 2014 that we were going to be building a hardcore gym. He caught that somehow. I think like AJ or somebody shared it, and so he must have known AJ. Yeah,
sure, yeah.
And so he was calm. He was one of the first. He was like, "Take my fucking money. I can't wait for this," you know. And then that's when Ty caught wind of it, and then Ty was like, "Fuck that! I'm opening a." He was literally opening a gym, and I think he announced that he was opening one before I ever even had the thought to open a gym. But I didn't know he was opening a gym until I went through it, and then I pulled it off. You know, I got the contract and everything. And then that's when we learned like there's someone opening a gym here, like a hardcore bodybuilding gym, and it's called Fargo Flex. And I was like, oh fuck, like that's gonna look like I'm coming at that dude because I'm opening Metro Flex. You know what I mean? So then he changed the name to Midwest Muscle. Yeah, but my funniest story about that whole situation that transpired was like, you know, there was like this weird underlying like beef or at least, you know, some kind of animosity.
Because you were the other gym.
Yeah. But we became like the coolest motherfuckers after it all went down. But my funniest memory was when I invited him to the gym and he came over and we went into the office. He had to walk through the gym first to get to the office. And when we sat down, the dude was like kind of sweating and he was just like kind of shaking his head. And I'm just like, what's up? He's like, man, this is a really cool gym. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And he's just like, I didn't fucking realize how many of my fucking members work out here. He's like, I just saw a whole bunch of people from my gym like that are still paying for their membership at my gym.
Including his ex-girlfriend.
No, but it was his girlfriend at the time.
Yes,
here's the best part.
Girlfriend at the time.
She came there and signed up to be a personal trainer. And then asked us not to tell him, you know what I mean, because it was going to be bad news. So she was a personal trainer in our gym while she was dating him, who was like trying to be my competitor at the time, bro. And he was like, when he told me that, he's like, all these people were members at my gym. I'm tripping, and he's like, even my fucking girlfriend's here. Yeah. And that's when I was like, yeah, bro, she's actually a trainer here. He's like, what? Like it was just the funniest, like weirdest.
Needless to say, that didn't last long.
Yeah, no wonder she's his ex.
It was cool though. But Ty always ended his relationships on a good note with girls.
Nah,
He's
that girl would
man.
have been done in the gym. I said, nah.
There was a lot of people that showed up to the gym right away, and they were like all hyped and I'm gonna be this badass fucking. I'm gonna work out here all the time. Well, they spent probably a few months there, and then they fucking bounced.
Yeah, there was quite a few of them.
Because
we were true to what we were building.
Yes.
It wasn't. You're not gonna come to Metroflex and pretend.
We stuck true to your name as a hardcore training facility.
Yeah.
We were a hardcore training facility, and that's what we always wanted to be. Mm-hmm. So anybody that came there, we fucking made sure that we did that.
Hell yeah. No, it's been a good journey, man. 100% across the board. I don't regret anything that I've done. All of it was a learning experience. All of it leveled me up or elevated me in some way, shape, or form. The relationships that I built with people, man, I don't have any old friends. I only have all new friends that I met through the gym, through this industry. You know what I mean? I have very few old friends from before I did all the shit, which is weird because I had motherfuckers that had my back.
Is that bad?
Quick bathroom break. Now we're back on. Nobody remembers what the hell we were talking about prior to that, apparently. And I'm just drinking water. So, but no, man, it's a good conversation. We're a good hour and a half in. We're having some good laughs and we're getting down to some cool topics. I don't want to get too carried away with getting too far off the subject of primarily just talking about you, man, and getting down. One thing I wanted to do with having you on the show was kind of expose a little bit more of who you are, like in just our region, let alone to people in the gym, and because mostly the people that are watching this on a regular basis are from our gym, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's do some more introduction on who Cody is, man. So let's say we've done 8 shows now. You've competed in nationals a couple times. What kind of placings have you had at national?
I got 7th in my first one in 2018, and this last one, I got my ass whooped. It was like I got 21st out of 32.
That was a huge class too.
Yeah,
It was very
32 heavyweights.
That's
Crazy. Yeah.
Where did they find all them heavyweights? They don't even compete local levels anymore.
I think honestly, like
it's like everybody
That's what
qualified that year.
that's what's
No
so
one was
confusing.
everybody just they were focused on the nationals, and that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They all just went out to nationals. So, but I mean, that was crazy to see. Holy shit! I can't believe 32 guys in your weight class, heavyweights. That's amazing.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nuts. So you're on a hiatus, so to speak, right now. You're on a baby making mission, and you're looking to have 2 kids. I'm just trying to track back a little bit and see where we're at. I mean, yeah, who knows how long that's going to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't finish on was the whole Kate thing.
Oh.
You wanted to get away from that pretty hard, I think.
That was a good one.
I should
Clean
probably,
it up. Let's go.
I should probably clean it up. No,
Or we just take
Kate
it
and
out
I-
completely.
Kate and I are we're amazing. We're good. We're always good.
Yeah.
Kate is a wonderful person, and she'll always have my back no matter what. So that's all.
dope.
I mean, she's a very amazing woman. So she'll always be there no matter what. She's very loyal, just like me. So,
Hey,
but
you are pretty loyal, huh?
yeah,
You're not out
that's-
there hooking up with chicks or anything like that, like military guys are known for.
Yeah, there's a lot of fuckery that happens, especially in this mission that I'm on out in DC.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit.
How do you
that-
stay
shit
faithful?
that goes on?
Being away for a year.
Just I think about all of the amazing things that Kate and I went through, and
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I think about how amazing a woman she is, and it just keeps me on track. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
I think about what I have waiting for me at home.
You gotta edit that out.
Why? We're just having a
You can't have
conversation.
me
B.
laughing in the back.
I'll put a still of Deion right there while you're talking.
He said, "I just think about how wonderful woman she is." Like, you just can't even put the words together and shit.
That's good.
Hey,
He's trying not to laugh.
a lot of roads, baby. What about it? A lot of roads. What you know about a lot of roads?
Nothing.
Bullshit.
Literally. Well, I learned a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah,
All right. So,
keeping it all in.
what's your weight at right now, Cody? You're cleanest. You're natty right now, right?
Yeah.
You're the biggest natty bodybuilder in the region right now. Would you say?
Natty Gains.
You just entered, yeah.
265.
That's pretty good.
I've been maintaining.
You know we're sponsoring a natty show
Yep.
in a few weeks. Or you want to jump on that?
Yep. I could fly home and just probably destroy everybody.
Stomp everybody out real
I
quick.
don't think there's gonna be any 265-pound people.
Honestly, I don't even fucking try to weigh that much, but it just happens.
Yeah,
I just eat and put on weight like no other.
yeah.
But
Do you know how many calories you're eating right now?
probably 4,500, I would say.
That's
And
so many calories.
it doesn't faze me at all.
Yeah.
We were talking. Well, you watched the Marshall
I
one.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
We were talking about your ability to
Marshall,
eat,
you
man.
little
It's-
bitch, by the way. I destroyed his ass in a food eating competition.
I think I would like to be a part of that when you come back.
Smoke you.
I have like
Love
a
to.
pretty good appetite, honestly. I'm not a quick
Everybody
eater,
that
but
says that goes against me and they get fucking destroyed.
I can fucking eat, but I don't even want to dare try to challenge Cody.
I'm not
I've
a-
watched Cody devour his meals and everybody else's, bro.
I do
in the
same
same
thing.
sitting.
I do the same
It's
thing.
fucking madness.
I just have to take my time. It's not like slow, but
25 hard tacos at Acapulco.
I think I could ride.
He smashed an entire spicy pie by himself, like
That's
the big
fair.
ones.
That's
Whole
fair.
thing in like 30 seconds.
Granted, that was right after I competed and I was drunk and I just destroyed that pizza.
You get so hungry.
I don't know
It's just-
why.
that's just what it is.
Eat.
It's crazy.
But
You did that in Vegas when you did, was it USA's?
yep.
And we went out to eat after, and I think the campers were there.
Yep.
And he finished his food, his wife's food, and then like everybody's desserts. He smashed on.
Well, everybody's like, "Here, do you want this?" I was like, "Sure." "Here, you want this?"
He
"Sure."
was just smashing, bro. It's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He said, "That's cool." Deion wants a piece of you, dog. He wants to see what you're made of.
That's
Any
literally
fucking
the
day.
life. Like we get shakes like once, twice a week, like ice cream shakes, just
Yeah.
because like I love it. It's like,
Well, I know that you said this, like, people that train like we do, I think it does have an effect
It
on
increases your appetite,
how much you can eat.
You just and once you're ramping it up and you're getting used to eating that much, it's like you can't go down. Like my I'm still as hungry as I was when I was eating 2,600 calories.
Yep.
But I'm eating 3,400 calories.
Yeah.
And I'm still just as hungry.
Right.
If I didn't have to cook it, I'd be eating 4,500 calories too. Like it's just that's how your body reacts.
I've always had my cousins, my uncles. They're huge people. They're very not like fat. They're just large, big people. Like, Cody Mauch, the other Cody Mauch, plays for the Bison. He's an offensive lineman. He's like 6'3", 300 pounds, whatever. He's huge. So that's my family. We just
Is he named after you?
Well, he's a redhead, but I don't know. He could be. I mean, we're just large people.
Yeah,
just large people. I'm really fucking short. I'm only 5'9", but I weigh 265.
I only weigh 178 pounds. So
you're a little bitch.
This is why I can't wait to have him back permanently. But
I call people little bitches all the time.
Yeah, but it means nothing because like we have this ongoing bet that if I can go pro by the time I'm 30 or before I'm 30,
was that what it was? 30?
Before I'm 30,
okay.
You're gonna be my weight bitch. Yep. So and he doesn't get anything if I don't. So it's a win-win for me.
Luck. No, but you know, I just want to say that I joined the military when I was 17 years old. I've always wanted to join.
Are you a lifer?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm at almost 16 years in June.
You're getting closer.
So, but I think that played a big part in me being such a loyal person was joining the military and having those group of friends that I met that I will always have a lifelong friendship with.
For sure.
And that just kind of grew my loyalty aspect of how I am. But growing up and seeing the way that things are today, I feel that I need to stay in for the younger generation to show them how it is. I'm not just saying this, but how it is to be a man.
Yeah.
And
I think you're so right with the direction it's going right now. Fuck yeah.
it just, I get so frustrated because I joined when I was 17 in 2006, and when you came in, there was hard-nosed motherfuckers that have been deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, whatever. And if you were fucking up, they called you out. And there was hardly anybody back then that was failing a PT test that couldn't pass because they made sure that you fucking did. But nowadays, we get 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds that can't pass their PT test because they're too fat or they're too lazy, one or the other. And it just pisses me off. And they're lazy and they complain a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't like
and they have a lot of safe places for them in the military now, too.
The safe spots, you know, because of white rage and whatnot. The way that I see things going, it scares me and it pisses me off. So I try my best to be a good leader as far as like, I will always see your side of things and I won't overreact. But at the same time, I want to be a hard-nosed motherfucker so you guys can get that rubbed off on you too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm not really a pleasant person to be under. I understand that, but there's a reason behind that. And I love the guys that I serve with, but I want to make sure that the younger generation gets raised up like I did with the guys that I came in with, because they're our future. And if some shit were to pop off right now, they're the ones that we have to depend on. And they're the ones that we leave behind for the future generations. Yep. And so the problem is that we get OGs like me that don't like what the current events is going on, and they get the fuck out.
Yep.
And
that's happening in the police forces all over the country too.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
all the hard asses are bailing because enough's enough.
They don't like what's going on.
This is what they want. This is what they want, though. They want.
I know.
They want a weak.
I read this.
A weak society of every, like our military to be weak. They want our police to be weak. Mm-hmm. We're so easily controlled when we are fucking a weak society of people.
Yeah.
So they're doing away, like all of us, we're all bad guys because we're hard asses, we're disciplined mentalities, we don't take no shit, you know what I mean? And so now we're bad to America, bro.
Yep.
It's because we're softening everything. We're putting it's just fucking gross. I hate it. My sons will not be raised like that. They didn't grow up like I did, and I tell them that all the time. You guys have such a disadvantage because you're not going to get the lifestyle that I got. I have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to grow up hard. They're not going to grow up in the streets. They're not going to grow up around gangs. They're not growing up around none of that shit. They have a little better life than I had growing up. You know what I mean? Financially and everything, because I'm setting them up. But I promise you, down to my fucking daughter, my kids will be badasses, bro. They will be protectors. I tell them all the time, like, they're all boxing. They've all been boxing for years now, training. Yep. And I tell them all the time, like, nah, you be fucking, don't be bullies. And if you see people bullying, fucking defend the kid that's getting bullied. You'll never get in trouble by me if you get sent home with a pink slip or whatever the fuck they do in school these days and tell me that you hit some kid because he hit you first or you were protecting somebody. They might get mad at you at school and we'll play it off at school, but when you come home, I promise you're not going to be in trouble with me. Because I want my fucking kids to be one of the few that are left in the future who still understand fucking discipline and being a fucking hard ass, because you cannot survive. You know, like people who are running around talking all the shit about me, those are the people that I look at and I say, yeah, you're all the fucking ones weakening society, because you run your fucking mouths. You talk shit about people who maybe you're intimidated by or that you feel inferior to, instead of stepping up to the plate and wanting to become somebody like that. You just try to do away with them because they're offensive to your existence. And I won't let my kids grow up like that. So I fully stand in support of that. And I don't want fucking police or military people in our country who are weak, soft motherfuckers. What good does that do for us? What good will that do? None. It's the same logic why, like, you know, where I come from, people have an issue with guys like us joining the police force. It's like, so all right, fuck it, we're back on. We took another break, guys, so this is gonna be a weird episode.
Cody is such a bitch because he's got to piss all the time. Fucking.
So I didn't even know that you guys were running the hockey team again this year. I had no clue. Josh hit me up a couple months ago, was like, can we get some more jerseys? And I was like, what? And then he told me. So I was like, oh, shit. And then someone came to us the other day in the gym and was like, hey, did you guys know that we're about to fucking get into the championship game? If we win this game Sunday, we'll be in the championship and we'll play in a couple more weeks after that. And I'm like, what? Like, no fucking way. So no one's been telling us or keeping us up on schedule so we can go watch, support, nothing.
They have been doing really well this year.
They're killing it this year.
It's probably because they lost.
So Metroflex's hockey team might actually win a championship this year.
Hey, I will say that I'm the fucking
here he goes.
Biggest guy playing hockey.
I'm the baddest defensive man that Metroflex Jim Fargo has ever seen on their hockey team.
I'll admit, when the first couple seasons that they did, when we go watch, it was crazy to see this big ass motherfucker flying down the rink, bro. Like, it was nuts. So that was interesting to see.
Before we get on to the hockey thing, I just want to get back to what we were talking about as far as this younger generation.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I just want to finish that because it is important to me.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to make sure that the kids that are coming, I should call them kids, they're 18, 19. Well, they're our kids, but whatever.
Young men and women.
Young men and women. I just wanted to make sure that they know what they're getting into and how they can come forward and succeed in being in the military going forward and being like strong, tough motherfuckers. That's all I want. I just want strong, tough motherfuckers that can handle it. My wife tells me all the time, God, you're such a hard ass, because I'm not. Every time she says something, I'm like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. I don't show any emotion whatsoever, but it kind of rubs off on me being in the military because I want to rub that off on the younger generation. I just want them to be hard motherfuckers because that's exactly what we need right now. We have so many fucking soft people, especially in the military. It scares the fuck out of me. It pisses me off. But not a lot in North Dakota. Luckily, North Dakota, we're still pretty secluded as far as that, but it is pretty prevalent around the military, especially now with all the policies they're coming out with and stuff.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's people like me that are trying to stay in to make sure that this doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah.
Leadership starts from the top. And so when you got leaders at the top talking about white rage and all that shit, it's just, it doesn't do anybody good. Anybody any good. It's not good for us. We really do need hard-nosed motherfuckers to be in the military. We need smart
What are you talking about when you say white rage?
Our General Milley
Yeah.
was talking about how we need to get rid of white rage in the military. I'm not really sure.
Just like the aggressiveness that
Of white people,
certain,
I guess.
certain military
Yeah.
professionals
Of
bring.
white people.
Yeah.
You can look it up. I'm not really sure what he was talking about, but he was saying that we need to get rid of white rage in the military. And so,
Like drill instructors and shit like that, or what? Like that's weird. Or is it just? Are they just playing to the whole racial divide
it's
right now?
it's the racial thing. It's playing to the racial divide. It's exactly 100% a liberal thing, I guess.
Sure. Okay.
White rage, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know, but I know that he's just thinking like, oh yeah,
It's like what you were just
white
talking
people
about,
need
how
to
you're
stop
such a
it.
hard ass.
Yeah,
That's
White-
white rage, right? So what happens if a brown or black dude or somebody does it? What do they call it?
there's no term for it. It's only if white people do it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's our military here in the U.S.
That's the problem. Is
That's
that
crazy.
They tell us that we're not supposed to pick a right or left. We're supposed to be in the center. But when you get our leaders at the top that are taking these different approaches that are specific to one side, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing the whole entire military into that one side, and that's how we're all supposed to be. And it causes a lot of friction.
Oh,
a lot of friction with the policies that you come out with, we don't agree with, and it causes so much friction. But we do what we can at the bottom. At my level, we do what we can, and we just tell our younger generation, our younger guys, just do what you can. Keep your head up. We're gonna get through this. You're a bad motherfucker, and we'll continue on. So I'm just trying to rub myself off onto the younger, just like my fucking. That sounded bad.
That sounds fucking
The first,
horrible.
time, the first time you said it, I was
sounds-
like, oh, but I didn't want to
It's
laugh.
not meant to be sexual, you fucks. But you know what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
get it. Like me and myself and the guys that I came up with are doing the same thing. We're trying to do.
So there's a group of you within that are discussing this approach.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot. There's only a few of us that have stuck it out. That have been to, you know, when I first got in, we went to Kosovo together. There's only a few of us left that stayed in.
Yeah.
The rest of them got out. So there's
Enough
only a
was
few
enough.
of us. There's only a few of us left.
Yeah, I mean, you're only going to get so far being fucking babied and just
Yeah.
push through because they need you or however it goes.
But see, now imagine a military full of that bullshit. How easy would it be for them to say, hey, you know what? Turn on your people.
Yeah.
They're bad. All them motherfuckers are going to go, yes, sir. And they're going to turn on their own people when our government, with all the bullshit they're pulling right now, wants them to turn on us, they will. So because I've heard another person we mutually know who's in the Guard made the same reference. He said, I'm staying the fuck in. Like, because they're trying to do, you know, vaccine mandates and all that stuff in the military. And he's like, I'm trying my best to use my, what do they call it? Religious exemption.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm really trying to get that approved because I want to stay in the military so that when they tell all these other fucking, submissive ass pushovers who are in the military to go and turn on their own people, I want to be the one to stand there and say, fuck that. That's not what we're here for. Because he believes strongly that that's the intent of weakening our military.
That's another thing. When we left, we were getting ready to go to DC. They told us, they said, if you get vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. You're going to be free to do anything. You don't have to get tested whatsoever. And then we get to DC,
You
and
gotta
about
do all that shit.
a month later, gotta wear a mask. The unvaccinated gotta get tested twice a week or something like that. And it was just all these restrictions started coming back, and I'm just like, fuck. I didn't want to get fucking. At this time, I was still pursuing to. I was really trying to have a kid, and I don't know about any of the vaccine.
What it was going to do to
what
you.
I was going to do or not. So I didn't want to take the risk. I wasn't going to get it. But then they said, hey, you should probably get it, and you're going to get all these freedoms if you get it. All right, I'll get it. So then everybody got it, and everybody got restricted after
That was it right there, though. You
get freedoms.
Said,
yeah, I was
they're
going to say.
offering freedom in exchange for tyranny.
They did. But I can tell you that I won't be getting any more shots after that.
No boosters or none of that.
No, I'm not
Good.
gonna do that.
Good.
Like, especially after this most recent thing that happened with Omicron and stuff, it didn't do fucking shit about it. So why the fuck are we still wearing a mask? Why are we still showing our vaccine cards? It didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
I think I would just, I don't know, if they want to kick me out. I don't want to get another
Take that
shot.
stand.
I don't want to get another shot.
Take that. I'm telling man, to anyone that crosses my path that's talking like this, I tell them straight up, take the fucking hit. It's what we need right now. If I was in a position where I had to take the hit for the country, I'm on it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now. I just don't serve any purpose to society beyond just being another person that won't follow these fucking bullshit rules. But when you're in the military, when you're a police officer, or if you're a fucking doctor, a nurse, or a scientist, and you're being fucking canceled and blacklisted and fucking and banned and barred from whatever it is you do in life because you won't follow through, good.
Yeah.
Do it. I promise you there's a place for you in society, man, and they're talking about this like crazy.
Yeah.
If you tell somebody I was in the military and I didn't want to fucking get vaccinated, so they kicked me out, I bet you a million patriots will come to the fucking table with job
for
offers
sure.
for you, bro. You'd be straight. Like, and I want people to understand that that's such an important thing to know, and I stand by this 1,000%, especially after 2 years of all the ridicule I got from people for having the opinion I do, and now it's clear as motherfucking day I was right the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
So I stand by that 100%. I think everyone else should. The only way we're going to fucking change anything is if we just start saying, nah, fuck that. Enough's enough. We have data. We have research. We have evidence now.
And that's the
and
thing.
all of it points in the direction that we were conspiracy theorists about in the beginning.
And I don't want to say like, oh yeah, I'm going to stay in to, protect the younger generation and everything. But at the same time, I got to stick to my beliefs too. Like I'm with 100% with everybody else that doesn't like to just jump in the water and take something that's not been tested for many years, just like everybody else. And how many fucking boosters are we gonna have to take before they say it's gonna work?
Yeah.
I mean, Israel's on the 4th booster right now.
Really?
The 4th booster. So, I mean, how many boosters is it gonna take? You know what I mean?
Well, and then how many times are you going to switch back and forth on what you need to do and what you should do?
Right.
What's going to work?
Yeah. I mean, the fucking CDC keeps changing the guidelines. And
when your percentage of dying is very low.
it's always been low.
Yeah.
It's always
so
been
it's
low,
like,
but it's been fucking, the fan has been flamed from day one about how serious this fucking disease is, but it wasn't serious to begin with. And I was never scared about it because
exactly.
From day one, they said, "Oh yeah, it's a 99.9% survival rate." And
you see how they don't even bring up that percentage anymore.
but they always kept saying like who was dying. They said we have this many deaths, but they said
all of them
They died with COVID,
not of it,
not from COVID. They never said, "Oh yeah, he died from a car accident, but he had COVID." They only said, "Oh yeah, he died of COVID."
Yeah,
they put that in their numbers. It's been a numbers game ever since we fucking started this thing.
A manipulated numbers game.
Fucking huge. And the hospitals they're getting all this money or whatever. And that I don't know if that's true or not.
It is 100%.
They're getting all this money from saying that they got this many deaths from COVID and
40 grand a body, bro.
Our hospital beds are all full. Bullshit, they're not.
No, they are. But it's because they only allot like 10 beds a unit.
And
you know what I mean? They literally only allow a certain amount of beds for their COVID unit. Yeah. And so when the COVID units are full with COVID patients, it's like 10 motherfuckers. Well, at least in our area because it's a smaller demographic. But it's the same in every other place. It's just a bigger scale.
And they're not allowing people to work.
The hospital
they
staff,
could be helping.
They fired or they got rid of. They cut the nurses down like big time. Remember that when they cut like the amount of nurses that were going to work there? And then we got this big surge again, and they're like, "Fuck, we need nurses," and they didn't have anybody to work. Our hospital beds are full because we don't have anybody to staff these beds. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It's all
crazy.
bullshit. But
It's all
anyways,
manipulation, though, man. None of it's been factually dangerous or detrimental to anything. They had to manipulate and make things up to make it look scary, and they've been running a fear campaign for the past 2 fucking years on everything. So, everything, and they're the ones spreading the news, right? Like the news won't report in the direction of opposition.
Yeah,
they're only going to report, or they only have been reporting, so that when you look at the news and you see all those celebrities, all the politicians, and all the news, mainstream media are all saying scary, dangerous, watch out. It looks like they're it looks like they're the majority, though. And so people are like, whoa. Yeah. And then we look like assholes because we're like, yo, none of this is true. And we've seen facts and evidence to prove that. Yeah. No one wants to buy it because we're not mainstream media. We're not celebrities, and we're not the politicians that are screaming this shit. They're all screaming the opposite direction. They're controlling the narrative.
It's a louder voice.
But I believe, they're a louder voice. But I believe they are the minority. That's why they're doing this. I believe the majority of the people in the world are anti all this shit. They just won't let it show because they control the narrative and they control the public view of what's happening. Bro.
Fuck, dude. I used to watch the North Dakota Department of Health dashboard.
Oh my God. Yes.
I used to watch that shit, and I would go to the comments and look at the comments, and I would see people freaking the fuck out about all this shit. And at that time I was actually working on COVID duty, so a lot of the stuff that they were talking about, they were fucking wrong. They were completely wrong. And it was just so frustrating to see this many people that were misled. Yeah. They believed everything that they heard on TV. And for the better part of a year, the CNN had the death count, the totals, and whatever. Now they don't have that shit on anymore. I wonder why. But anyways,
you digress.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Hey, look, man, we're almost we're over fucking 2 hours. This is you did this on purpose.
I did.
Yeah,
I
you
wanted
fucking
to be
did.
the longest one.
Not Marshall.
And I came in. Yeah, fuck you, Marshall.
Marshall was the longest one.
I came in knowing that I was gonna be the longest one.
I mean, you got to cut out the potty breaks. That's like 30 minutes at least.
Fuck you, Deion.
Nah, but so man, look, we've talked about a lot of random shit. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I loved having you on, bro. Like this was a good catch up for the short visit that you have here, so it worked out
for real.
Really good conversation and good kind of just backtracking of the history of how you've come to be Cody Mauch, the bodybuilder.
And that's probably boring as shit. There's so much stuff that I wanted to talk about with you and Deion. There's so much stuff that I want to talk about, and we can get into that when I get home. But
yeah.
But I really do appreciate you bringing me on. This was everything that I thought it was gonna be. It was so fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
I just like the array of topics that we discussed and the things that we covered, man. In the same breath, like I just love opening people's eyes, right? Like we're not experts in anything. We've all experienced things, though, and we're sharing our experiences, and from everything from the bodybuilding aspect of it to the taking of gear to the politics to the military stuff to the current status of our country. All of that stuff is important and valuable to somebody out there. So people are going to take from it what they want to take from it, and I think it's important that we just continue to do things like this with this modcast, man. Just have fun. Sometimes just randomly talk and have conversations about everyday topics and just do what we can to put some information out there. Anybody that doesn't like what we're saying or doesn't believe in what we're saying can go and do their research in opposition
go
of
and
it.
Fuck themselves.
Or go fuck themselves.
Whatever. Same thing.
It's
Same
all,
thing.
But
I'm just kidding.
What I always say is regardless of whether you like what we do or not, share that shit, man. Talk shit.
Yeah.
Tell your boy how stupid we are and all the shit we talked about.
real.
And send him this episode.
Watch it,
and let him watch it and comment on it,
Like and
whatever.
subscribe. Share this.
So Cody, one thing I'll say before we end this, man, I truly believe you were one of our most consistent bodybuilders in our local region here in the FM area, and in some of the outerlying cities and communities as well. You have all the potential in the world, man. I think to become an IFBB pro, more potential than the most people that we see and associate with on a local level. I hope that you get back on. I hope that you have these 2 kids and you get back on and you make something of it. But if you ever don't, man, regardless of your position in this industry, you're always going to be my boy, man. I always appreciate everything you've done for Metroflex. You've always gone to bat for us. You've always had my back in the most loyal fucking way, except for that time where I wanted to punch you. But it's always been legit, man. And you've always been real as fuck. And you've always expressed your appreciation to me. In fact, in closing, I'll say I was going back and just looking at my history and shit on my posts and stuff like that, and I came across my birthday post from when we had that big party at the hotel in the clubhouse, man. And I to this day, that is probably like my favorite fucking experience with you was that drunken speech that you gave, bro. Like, fucking A, was that just the funniest shit ever, man. And I really appreciate you a lot, Cody, man. You're a brother to me, man. And I know Deion admires you a lot. He talks about you all the time. We've been saying that we can't wait for your ass to come back to town and visit. Regardless of what other people think of you or the misunderstanding they have about you, man, I appreciate you. I know you're not just loyal to me, but you're just loyal to friendship in general. And you're a fucking advocate for this country, and you're a leader in our military, which I think says a lot. People got you misconstrued. You're not this dumb meathead guy that everyone thinks you are, and you have some real qualities about you that are important for people to understand, and that people could take away from this particular conversation that we had. So I appreciate you sharing that, coming on and bullshitting with us, and doing whatever you can while you're here for a short period of time. I got nothing but love for you, Cody, and I appreciate everything that you've shown me and taught me, and in terms of friendship value and in our industry. You've helped my back, and you've been there for me through a lot of crazy shit in the 7 years that we've been doing this. So
I'm John's enforcer.
My enforcer, yeah.
The goon.
John's enforcer, the goon.
The goon. That's my goon right there, straight up. My what do they call it? My white rager.
Yeah. I just want to say also, I definitely look up to you, and you've had my back in multiple occasions as well, and I appreciate it. I do want to share with the audience that the first time I met Cody, I was working at the front desk, and I asked him, obviously, because I had never seen him before. I said, "Hey, what's your last name?" to check him in, and he said, "Mauch, bitch," and you better remember it next time. I was like,
that's going into that generation thing. You gotta fucking teach these young kids.
And from then on, I remembered it. So, and I knew then we would be friends. And
Hell
so
yeah!
I appreciate it.
Now I say, "What up, bitch?" Every time I get in there.
Yeah. Do you want to share like your social medias or anything like that for people to follow you? Check
at
you out?
Mauch, at Mauch Cody, MAUCHCODY on Instagram.
Taken.
Yeah. That's about it. I only
Yeah,
have
he's
Instagram.
taking. He's taking and baby making right now.
That's good. That was good.
Hell yeah. You're welcome, Kate. What else? I was gonna say something else before we close this out too. You gave your social media stuff. That's probably it, man.
At illegal CEO.
we'll put all that shit in the description.
Like, share, comment.
Yes, sir.
All of that. We appreciate you guys watching the episodes. This was a nice long night. Deion, I appreciate you. I know you had a long day at work too, and then you came over here after, and we're grinding this out for 2 recording sessions that lasted a good almost 4 hours. So props to you, man. Always appreciate the work that you put in to make this happen. We're having fun with this.
We are.
We really appreciate everybody that tunes in and all the new subscribers we're getting. It
means a lot. Yeah,
it really means a lot. And I get a lot of feedback, really good feedback from people in the gym that I don't even know. They're like, "Yo, we've been watching it.
Yeah.
I've seen every episode. It's really entertaining to watch. It's fun. Keep doing your thing." So
New
that,
person every
that
time.
motivates me to keep going, man. This isn't easy to make this happen all the time, and then I do all the editing and stuff. So we're busy. Deion's got a lot going on too, and for us to always show up here and do this as consistently as we are, and we're not that consistent right now. It takes a lot of effort, man. So we appreciate the people that take the time to actually watch it, that comment on it, and share it for us. I've seen a lot of people recently sharing it on their social media platforms and whatnot. So props to everybody. We really appreciate you guys. We love the support. And we'll continue doing this, even if you don't fucking support us, because we just don't give a fuck. We're having fun. It's enjoyable, man, and it feels good.
It is always fun.
Hell yeah. Like, Cody, thanks again, brother. I really appreciate you being here, man. Nothing but love to you. Deion, thanks a lot. Everybody, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, talk shit, say good things, whatever you want to do. But for now, we are out.
Peace.